Hey, are we live? I think we are. Hello, everyone. Today it's a Saturday, the 2nd of October, 2021. October, the wonderful October, the month of my birthday, and I hope you are all very well today. Usually we talk about the news, so I'll briefly mention that, but we won't kind of deep dive this week. This week's news included a retooling of Babylon 5 that is in the works at the CW with no other than J. Michael, I can never say this, Straczynski, writing the pilot episode and showrunning. Genuinely excited about that as a massive Babylon 5 fan. More Indiana Jones news again. It's usually the same news regarding Indiana Jones, the cinematic Antichrist, that is. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is indeed set to take over the whip from the soon-to-be deader than a Norwegian blue Indiana Jones. Coffee for Mr. Spielberg. And finally, even more Phoebe Waller-Bridge news. Can you believe it? No Time to Die, which is Daniel Craig's final 007 outing, dropped this week in UK cinemas. All I can say is you go into the cinema with high hopes, if I can say it, and you leave a broken man. No joke there. Moving on. Okay, shall we get the guests out? I think we should. So, first up, new to Saturday night, I do believe, is the home media expert, Betamax, VHS, audio cassette. He's got the lot. It's the wonderful Keith Isles.
Hello, Daniel. It's a pleasure to meet you.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me on. I really appreciate it. And thanks for that wonderful retro intro that you gave me there. Thank you.
You like the material, yes?
Oh, very good. Yeah, I mean, it's all about Betamax and VHS, obviously.
Betamax was the better quality tape, wasn't it?
It was. It lost the war, a bit like the HD DVD and Blu-ray many years later. But there you go. That's a whole nother thing. If anybody's interested in home media, then
you're the man.
Check out my channel. Absolutely. Home Media Minefield on all social media and on YouTube. So yeah, thank you.
So are you, I always say to the guests, are you pumped for tonight?
Well, you know, I try to be.
We all do, mate. We all do.
I try to be pumped for everything, but no. Yeah, it's. I love talking Bond. I'm a massive fan of the James Bond franchise, and yeah, any opportunity to talk about it, I'm happy to do so. Like I said, thank you for having me.
You were the first I asked because I knew you was a massive fan. So it's truly great to have you here, Keith. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shall we get the next guest out?
I think we should.
Good man. Correct. Okay. Next up, she's the Princess of Xanadu, but she's the queen of this channel, Daniel Craig fan, And all the way from the land of Texas Shire, it is Reni.
Hello, greetings and salutations, chat. Mr. Brown, Keith, again,
Hi, Reni.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Absolutely. It's always
good.
good to meet new friends.
Absolutely. And it's always great to be here. This is an amazing channel. Mr. Brown is, he has a very well-structured show, very polite, very kind, and always has the best people on. So this is always fun territory to be in.
Today is literally taken me all day to produce this.
Hey, just
So,
look at it
there
this
you
way.
go.
29
Yeah.
days to November. Or is it 20 or 30?
Who cares? It's November. Yes. So, all good, Reni, yes?
Yeah. It's been a pretty good day. Can't complain too much. I had pizza, so yeah.
Hot Pocket.
No, actual real pizza.
Oh,
And I watched
pizza.
it while I ate it while I rewatched Casino Royale. So what could be better than that?
Oh, sounds like a perfect afternoon to me.
Really was.
Yes.
You know what my next question is, don't you, Reni?
Yeah. Should we bring the next guest on? And I say, do it.
Do it. Okay. Next up, again, new to Saturday nights. When you need some assistance around the back of the moisture evaporators, if you know what I mean, it's the reach around king, the golden rod himself. Good material, this, isn't it?
Is this why you're asking me if I was pumped?
Yes.
Probably.
We've got the man. Golden Rod himself, Z3PO.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Brown, sir. Or should I call you Mr. Daniel?
Sir, we'll be fine.
So we've got both Daniel Craig and C3PO on the show. That's amazing. Well done.
Yeah, we're like
Absolutely,
the two
Mr. Keith.
outcasts here, Keith. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just Keith. There you go. Boring.
Yeah, just a chick from Texas. That's it.
So are you well today, Rob?
I'm very well, thank you. Very pumped for Casino Royale. I actually like Daniel Craig as Bond. I think he makes an excellent Bond. I was actually shocked at the media feedback when he was cast.
Yeah.
The whole James Blonde thing, that was quite ridiculous. But we can get more into that during our discussions.
Good man. So you're ready for this, yes?
Oh, yes.
Top man. Okay. Shall we get the next guest out?
Do it.
You did it better than me.
Hopefully he's back from popping out for a moment, as it were. So, and last, but by no means least, the wise elder of the channel, the writer, the portal, the director, and never gets tired that, and paid up member of the Selfridges Appreciation Society. He is the great mega geek himself, Ian David Diaz.
Hello. Everybody all right?
Yeah, Ian, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Oh, we're now fine. The mega geeks here.
That's right.
That's right. Nobody needs to worry now.
You're going to get told exactly what he thinks.
Well, wouldn't be the mega geek if I didn't speak my my mind. Put it that way. So
It's true.
There you go.
yeah, that's
That's
it.
why people tune in, Ian. That's why people tune in.
All right, let's get on with it, shall we?
Yes, because there is a lot of stills tonight. So the news, we're not going to do with the news because it's just boring shit and it's always the same stuff. As I said, quite excited about Babylon 5, but we'll save that for another day. So what we will do is go through actors that have played the great man himself. So, shall we get on with it? I think we should. Okay.
The lucky few. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay. So here we go on 10 minutes. If I press the correct button, hopefully. There we go. So for the uninitiated, which is me, Barry Nelson, or is it Nielsen?
Nelson.
Nelson. He played the first televised role, as it were, of James Bond in Casino Royale, which was a TV movie in 1954. So this is going way, way, way back to literally the very first day. So who would like to start? Keith?
Yep. What do you want?
Do you know anything? Do you know anything? Have you seen the 54 version of Casino? Because apparently it is in black and white.
It is, yeah. I'm aware of this. Basically, this was the first time Ian Fleming sold the rights to option, his first novel, Casino Royale, which was the first James Bond novel written, in 1954 as well. And he sold it to CBS television network for one of their. They had a series called, I think it was Climax. The series was called, and it was kind of a movie of the week type thing. And they managed to do this adaptation of Casino Royale, although condensed down to an hour-long format. And actually, it focused a little bit more on the Le Chiffre character, which was played by the great Peter Lorre in that. And, Barry Nelson obviously played a very sort of different version of James Bond. I mean, he was American for one thing. He was known as Jimmy Bond.
Jimmy Bond.
It was. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. It was shot on videotape for television. I mean, it's pretty tame when you look at it today, but there's no doubt about it. He was officially the first on-screen James Bond, which is a little known fact. So yeah, it had to start somewhere, and this is why we didn't get an official Casino Royale Eon production until 2006, was simply because the rights to this story was with CBS, and they were able to hold on to that for 40 years or whatever it was until those rights became available again, and they were able to kick it off with Casino Royale starring Daniel Craig. So yeah,
is that how long it takes, Keith, to actually get rid of the copyright? So 40 years, or was it just a contract they signed with Ian?
I think it was in this. I think it's a lot longer in sort of my limited knowledge of copyright and all of this. I think it's more like 70 years in reality. But the deal they had with CBS, took them up to 2003 or whatever it was, and then they were able to indeed, Eon were able to get the rights back and use that as the perfect springboard for a reboot, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about as we go on, right?
We will indeed. So what you're saying is it was actually an American production?
That's right. Yes, it was with the CBS network.
So it wasn't even kind of this side of the pond then, was it?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. I mean, it's a very loose adaptation. It just takes the, the casino-based part of the story, and as I said, it's a long time ago since I've actually seen this, but it's almost like Bond wasn't really the main character anyway. It was the more,
baddie, Le Chiffre.
Yeah, it was more focused on that, and I believe Felix Leiter is in this as well, if memory serves. But it's a long time ago since I've seen that, so there may be a few holes in my recap there.
Well, I think you've done pretty well, so we salute you on that one. Mega Geek, have you seen this version?
I've only seen. I watched 5 minutes of it, and that was enough for me. I just thought it was awful, personally.
Right.
Really awful, especially when they did actually call him Jimmy. It was ridiculous.
Jimmy.
Yeah. So,
Jimmy Bond.
No.
Jimmy Bond.
Yeah.
What's this guy been in before? What has Barry Nelson been in before? He looks familiar. Like he's
It
been
looks
in
like
some.
Gene Roddenberry.
He does a bit, doesn't
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice catch, C-3PO.
he? Actually, he might be him in disguise.
I'm sure I've seen him somewhere.
That's his pseudonym when he acts.
Yeah. Reni, I'm assuming you've not seen this version.
I actually have a long time ago. I don't
Right.
remember too much about it except for I found it to be a hoax of a James Bond film because like my mom raised me on James Bond and she's like, you know what? This is technically like kind of a James Bond film, but not really. But you know, you kind of need to familiarize yourself. And I just couldn't take this movie seriously, the whole Jimmy thing. And it was just, it was a little bit campy for me. And I'll be honest, it's really hard for me to watch black and white. But it didn't really captivate me. And I didn't feel like he was James Bond. So I don't really care for it personally.
Moving on. Z3PO.
Hello.
Hello. Any dealings with it?
No, it's not something I ever sought out. I think I got my knuckles wrapped on the 1967 version.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I didn't go looking after that.
Right, okay. Speaking of knuckles being wrapped, guess who's here?
Oh,
Boy,
Knobhead's here.
what's going on, guys?
Scotty, how you doing?
Scotty, don't.
I won't. I promise. I won't. Mr. Brown, Barry Nelson was the innkeeper at the Overlook Hotel, who was the guy who interviewed Jack Nicholson.
That's right. Yes, he was.
And,
Scotty,
yeah, I have seen this version of James Bond. I watched it in full. I've been having a series of conversations about James Bond movies, and I watched this before I watched any of them because this was the last James Bond movie that I had not seen.
Wow.
It's not that bad. It's like a Twilight Zone episode. It's like, what if James Bond was American? And it's like, this is what.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He shouldn't be American.
And it's free on YouTube. Like, he should.
Oh, wow.
It's free on YouTube. You can watch the whole episode. And it was Conflict. That was the name of the show. Good call. Whoever said that. I agree with this entire conversation. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, of course. In The Shining. Yes, that's. I'm so glad you said that.
And this is a still from the table scene.
And they really do a good job at teaching what Baccarat is in that episode. They kind of get around it, like as a cover for their exposition. It's really neat if you watch it. It's only like 45 minutes. Plus, there are cigarette ads. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend.
Yeah. Plus, it was actually Baccarat as in the book, which is obviously something they changed for the movie. So yeah, so that it's almost truer to Fleming's roots from that point of view. But,
except it's so bizarre, Jimmy Bond. And they don't call him Jimmy. I was looking for the Jimmy when I watched it, and they don't call him Jimmy a lot.
Jimmy Bond. Reni has gone critical mass, by the way. Okay, so
she'll be back. She always is.
Yeah. Okay, so we will move on to the slightly better known James Bond.
Super.
Rob, I think you can start.
Yeah, I love Connery as Bond. He was just like oozing testosterone and sophistication. I think he really personified the character, and everyone else is really in his shadow.
Agreed.
He set the template. Everybody else is just a copy of Connery.
You like him then?
I take it you're a Connery fan.
I love him. He's one of those shameless actors who does the same accent for everything.
Like
you want a Russian
Costner?
submarine commander? You get a Scottish.
What you mean by that?
You want an Irish beat caught? You get Scottish accent. You paid for Connery. You get Connery.
If I may, Scotty, if you're going to put him in that category, that puts him in the same category as Kevin Costner. And Kevin Costner is not the greatest actor, in my opinion. I just want to throw that out there.
I loved him in Robin Hood.
Yeah, he was a great non-British Robin Hood.
I know. What a button to push.
That was much better than the other Robin Hood that the British people made, though, wasn't it? That came out the same year. So much better.
No, I did like the Mel Brooks parody one, the Men in
That
Tights.
was Men in Tights.
Oh, Men in Tights.
In the Costner Robin Hood, of course, Sean Connery appears in that as
He
well.
does indeed.
Exactly, King Richard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Richard. I'm King Richard the Lionheart. Yes.
Z3PO, which was your first Connery film that you saw then?
Dr. No was the first one that I saw, but that was on a repeat on TV. They used to have them on in the 70s and 80s over
Christmas,
Easter
wasn't it?
and Christmas.
Yeah.
And it'll be the Bond film, and people will just all gather around in the living room after you've had your presents, you've had your Christmas dinner, and it's time to sit down for some James Bond.
Oh.
It was a simple way of life.
No, but I had similar experiences. I enjoyed, James Bond was a family affair. When it was on TV, let's all sit down and watch a James Bond movie. Before VHS, you young people.
I think that's how my family was with James Bond, but also like the Christopher Reeve Superman movies when they came on, and Godzilla as well. So
it was part of Christmas at one point in time. James Bond every year you'd have a James Bond film on Christmas, and then Raiders of the Lost Ark took over, and it was just Raiders of the Ark every Christmas, and then Sound of Music.
Story.
Well, in England it was different. Sound of Music played every bloody Christmas. I remember that. So.
I've never seen it.
I saw that very, very recently, The Sound of Music, and it is a good film.
Such a heartbreaking film, though.
Robert Weiss.
What they all live, right?
Apart from
which one do you want? I can tell you what we do have and what we don't. How many of which?
Who's the smallest kid out of all of the kids in the family? I think she fell off the mountain when they were climbing up.
Yes.
At the end, I think I saw her fall off. So she was the last. She died. No one died in it. No one died in it.
Well, I have to see it. I have to see it. It's got Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
I love Julie Andrews. Have you guys ever seen the Americanization of Emily?
Negative.
No.
Great. No. It's got James Garner in it. It's great. It came out the same year as Mary Poppins. Anyway, we're talking about Sean Connery, who was in Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yes, he was.
That's where they saw him.
Yep.
Apparently.
That's where he got noticed, I think.
And he was going bald before he even played James Bond. So, yeah.
Just like Shatner, he got it early.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Now, if I may add a proviso when it comes to Sean Connery. Sean Connery is the best James Bond. Everyone agrees.
Absolutely.
I do not agree with you. So let's just
then
say
never mind.
Opinion,
certainly very good. Certainly very good.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm proposing is that if you you have to remove Sean Connery from the equation of who is your favorite Bond, unless you are adamant. Like if you say no, my favorite James Bond, but if you it's kind of like dropping. Everybody's going to say Connery, but if someone says Lazenby, I'm more interested in talking to them to find
What about if someone says Woody Allen?
Well, then that's an even more interesting conversation.
Could you imagine him as James Bond? I mean, I can't even find my.
Yes,
he was James Bond.
You don't have to imagine it. There's a movie.
Oh my God! How did I not notice this?
Because it's not a good movie.
Well, it was David Niven, really. But
it was Peter Sellers, really.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't think everybody agrees with that, Scotty. I don't think Connery is everybody's favorite Bond. I can tell you he's not mine.
My mistake.
And he's not who, I mean, I kind of grew up with him, but I mainly grew up on Moore. So Roger Moore is mine. He is always going to be my Bond. Mm-hmm. It's just because that's who I grew up with, and he had the charisma and the flair, and he gave it the little extra bit of relatability and humor that I liked. So, it just depends on the person, and I know people who like Richard, what's his name? Timothy Dalton. So
he's my favorite.
So
Timothy Dalton is my favorite.
Yeah, this is a very complicated question. I think
It is.
because I like them all, and
Yes,
I've
of
got reasons why I like them all. So it makes that question. It's almost like trying to pick your favorite movie of all time, and that's like impossible to answer.
Yeah,
and
no, it ain't.
Same for me with
No, it's not.
I
My favorite movie of all time's E.T. You know that. That's it for me.
Yours is, yeah.
Yours is, but here's the thing that got me like pretty bad on that. My favorite movie of all time used to be Empire Strikes Back, and then Disney happened to Star Wars. So now I don't know what my favorite movie is anymore.
Yeah, but that hasn't changed Empire Strikes Back, to be fair, has it?
Well,
it's changed a lot of things, but not that.
The problem with that is I can't watch Star Wars without thinking about what a trash heap or dumpster fire the story becomes, and it just hurts too bad.
Well, you know what it needed is more Sean Connery.
Of course.
I would just say Sean Connery starred in Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, my favorite, one of my favorite Bond films, You Only Live Twice. Diamonds Are. Oh, I think it's fantastic. Diamonds Are Forever. Never Say Never Again.
Don't talk about that film.
It's not official. It's not official.
Yeah.
Whole another podcast right there. So, yeah.
It is. Ian, have you got anything to add about Sean Connery?
I love Sean Connery. He is my favorite Bond, and not because he was first, it's because the way he plays Bond's completely different to all the rest of the people that played Bond. He started off a very serious Bond, a killer, cold-hearted killer, and Dr. No, and with the change of the times, it became a bit more slapstick. He rode the humor quite well. So it just goes to show he's a very good actor. He can go from serious to being quite funny. I just think, you can't. If you think of Bond, you cannot not think of Sean Connery, in my opinion. And I think he was a great Bond, in my opinion. So he's my favorite, definitely.
Yeah, because I would say people of a certain age, probably yourself, Z3PO, and me.
What are you saying, dude?
Behave.
Just like us geezers.
I don't think it was bad. I just
do you know?
No, it was cute. It was. Cute.
It was on TV when we were. He was on TV when we were growing up.
Do you know what, Scotty? Do you know what, Scotty? Me and you look good. Brown doesn't. That's why he's taking a piss out of us. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shots fired.
Oh, you little mega bitch.
Oh shit.
But, so mega bitch, you are a Connery.
I am indeed. I love Connery. I think Connery's a great Bond.
Okay,
and I think that the first Connery movie that I ever saw was You Only Live Twice.
Yeah,
I think mine was
the music
Goldfinger.
is amazing.
It is, isn't it? John Barry, fantastic,
just utterly amazing. Keith, thoughts on Connery?
I mean, you can't. I don't think anybody can really talk about James Bond without at least acknowledging the fact that Sean Connery was the one that brought the character to life. He had a great run of films because essentially the films that he did were the adaptations of the novels. And then after that, they would take names and stuff from the novels and titles, but they sort of became their own thing. So he had a great run as Bond. He defined Bond. He brought so much to the character. So I've got nothing but admiration for Sean Connery. But that wasn't just as James Bond. That is of an actor in general. He's done many iconic things, and I think I first saw, and Ian knows this story because we always talk about this. But I still remember I was very young. And my dad was a fan of the James Bond films, and they had a James Bond season on ITV running weekly in the south of England where I grew up. And the first one I ever saw, which is why it's a special movie to me, was actually Live and Let Die when that was on television. And Dad let me stay up late one night and watched it with me, and I thought it was, the coolest thing ever. and then the following week, because ITV never played these things in order. They basically played them randomly, and the following week was Goldfinger. And the thing that threw me was I couldn't believe this guy that looked and sounded completely different to James Bond that we had the week before was the same guy. And but then the Aston Martin DB5 came on screen, and that was what I wanted as my next toy. So, but yes, I remember that very vividly.
Which quick question then? Which do you think was the best Connery Bond film?
Dr. No. No, wait. From Russia with Love. No, wait. Dr. No. No, wait. From Russia with Love.
Goldfinger.
Shut up, Leslie.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up, Leslie. Goldfinger's mine.
I would say Goldfinger. I'm with
he's so good in Goldfinger. Goldfinger was the first film to have the tropes, the car, the gadgets, the great tuxedo, turning this coat and its white tuxedo, putting the rose in. You know, it's all there when you look at it. It's all there. The supervillain, the dastardly plan. It's all there in Goldfinger. That's why it's one of my favorites.
If you could stop reading my mind, Ian, that would be great.
Sorry, Reni. Sorry.
Can you tell me what she's thinking, Ian?
Oh no, it's very rude.
Filth.
I mean, for me, I only with that question, because I think he had a really good run of Bond films. I find it easier to answer the question, which is my least favorite, because I like
which is.
Of them. My least favorite by far is Diamonds Are Forever. I think. That's
come on.
No, I'm sorry.
If you put
Mr. Kidd and Mr. Wint, you can't. They were great.
They are stereotypical weirdo.
They are cheesy and stereotypical.
They were 70s homosexuals, essentially. They were.
I just think at that point
they were also James Bond villains. So what do you get? I'm sorry, we had a mute Korean guy who could kill a guy with his hat, but unfortunately, a gay couple couldn't be assassins. I don't know what the problem is.
Thumper and
Bambi.
Bambi.
My issue with it.
Yeah, Thumper. What was that?
My issue with it is more Connery.
I mean,
you mean Connery that put on a lot of weight and
Connery
was more
probably had enough.
We all know the story behind it, and he was doing it just so that he could
buy a golf course or a bank.
Buy something.
Theater. And,
no, he was. Was he contributing to Scottish Arts?
Oh, totally.
Yes.
That's why he agreed to do it, and that's where his salary went.
That's
I still, you know what, guys? I still think it was a good film, though. Diamonds Are Forever made me laugh a lot.
It's a fun film.
Jill St. John is Foxy.
Yeah, she is actually.
She is.
And you know what? I don't care. What's the name of the guy who plays Blofeld?
Oh, Charles. What's his name? Keith. Charles
Gray in this one.
Charles Gray, by far,
appeared in Thunderball beforehand.
He did, yeah.
I used to love Donald Pleasance, but Charles Gray. Oh my God, what a ham! Perfect.
He was, mate. He was.
Well, let's be honest. The Blofeld arc is problematic in these films, isn't it?
Over, yes.
Yeah, but it was fun at the time, you know. But yes, I get that.
Rob, which is your favourite Connery film?
I've got to agree with the others. It's going to be Goldfinger.
Woo woo.
Right. Because I think after the first two films, and they're relatively new to all of this, and although they are very, very good films, the third one's where it just all came together, and like just it just felt like the perfect spy movie to me.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, in the chat, internet allowing some buffering, I think. Fleming wasn't a fan of the first. Sorry, I'll start again. Fleming wasn't a fan at first of Connery as Bond, but he grew to love him and gave Bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
In novels, a partial.
Hey, Peacat, what's going on?
I heard he got really mad that they picked a Scottish actor instead of an English one at first, but then he grew on him.
Another thing you guys don't, well, I don't know if you realise that, you know, every time they had Felix Leiter in it, they always made sure Felix Leiter didn't look as good as the person that was playing Bond, because the Felix Leiter in Diamonds Are Forever, he was shorter. I don't know who's the guy that played him. It's so funny.
Oh no, he looked awful in that one, but it was still a good movie. But it's just like, oh man, come on, we know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's quite funny actually when you think about it. But sorry, carry on.
God, my internet tonight sucks. PCAT also says Fleming wanted David Niven, which nicely follows into the next picture. So, You Only Live Twice was 1967, and Casino Royale, unofficial spoof, also 1967.
Right.
But he wasn't considered an official Bond, correct? Or am I crazy?
No, this is just a spoof.
This is an unofficial spoof again.
That's what I thought.
Because they had the rights.
I think the producers wanted them.
I don't want to interrupt immediately, but my eye was drawn to something. Instead of looking at David Niven as James Bond, I would like you to look to your right, because that young lady was Callista in the episode Oh my God! It's the one with when they shrink down the crew of the Enterprise into the geometric shapes.
Yes.
And with the guy, and they're going to Andromeda. They have to break the galactic barrier and all this jazz. Anyway,
trivia.
She's the one who Kirk kisses and has to fight the guy from Forbidden Planet. Anyway, moving on. Dave Baldwin is here.
Thanks for that, Scotty.
Yeah. Well, come on. It was kind of valuable.
But
no, it's good. It's good,
right,
Scotty.
You're right about the Niven thing, though. So apparently Fleming had always had, David Niven, and he even talked about Cary Grant.
He wanted I think the production wanted Cary Grant, didn't they, Keith?
But basically, even though he didn't agree with the casting of Sean Connery, once he saw the films, because obviously he was still writing the books at the time that the first couple of films were adapted, and so he absolutely, as somebody said, he put the sort of Scottish heritage into the backstory of the character simply because he was won over by Sean Connery, like the rest of the world. So, but it's kind of cool that it's a cool bit of casting that they used David Niven for the spoof. I think that's quite funny.
I mean, that way he kind of got his wish, but not really, but kind of,
No, he didn't want to be Bond. David Niven never wanted to be Bond.
Well, no, but so Ian Fleming kind of got his
Ian
wish.
Fleming.
And he'd already passed by then, but
that's right.
But which is a shame. But yeah.
So in the spoof James Bond movie, is the painting behind David Niven currently a painting of Skyfall?
Could be.
It might be.
With cows lowing in a field. This happens in the Casino Royale continuity.
Yeah, but I was looking at the girl. I wasn't looking at the painting.
No, dude.
Figures, Ian.
No, I was looking at Niven's jacket.
She was the first one I wanted to talk about.
So Scotty, have you got any toys that you have from Bond movies? Because he always brings out a toy. Scotty always pisses me off. He always has the toy I want.
No, I don't have. I don't think I have any James Bond toys. No.
Oh, damn it!
I just have the movies, and that's enough. I have the books, but no one wants to see a library. So
I love books.
No, if I had something cool, absolutely. If you haven't read the books, I would highly recommend them. And in order, in publication date, like you start at Casino Royale, and like Live and Let Die is the second one,
second book, then
Moonraker is amazing. It is nothing like the movie.
Yeah, I know. You had the camera from Back to the Future, didn't you? And that really
but I don't have any exploding pens.
I thought you would have. I thought you would have.
I could just show you a pen, but I'm not going to blow it up.
Man, you just went back to notch zero, man. I was expecting
you've lost some big points.
You.
That's right.
I had a couple of the Corgi toys. I had a couple of the Corgi cars. I had the the DB5, which was really nicely done because it had not only was it a good replica of the car itself, but it had things that worked on it. So it had like machine guns that came out of the indicator lights at the front. It had a a shield that came up at the back as it did in Thunderball, and it also had the ejector seat. And it even had a little figure of a guy holding Bond at gunpoint. So I used to absolutely love that.
That's a question. Why did it need a shield at the back if the windows were bulletproof?
They weren't bulletproof at the time.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, the windscreen, like the frontal windscreen was bulletproof. So yeah,
all right.
That is actually a good question.
Wow.
Picat in the chat says
it added armor.
I used to have a little model Aston Martin, and I don't remember which movie it was closest to, but I used to pretend that was like my little James Bond car. But that's the closest thing I had.
Cool. Picat in the chat says, by any other means is the Trek
any other
episode.
name.
Any other name.
Yes.
Forgive me.
The Kelvins. Yes. Thank you.
Dalek 451. Good news.
Hey,
For
Dalek.
Once, I was able to watch the film you are discussing tonight. Good man.
I gave him a heads up. So
Always a good start.
That helped. Yes.
What are we talking about?
So quickly before we move on, was the spoof was it a decent film?
It's cute.
No.
But it wasn't
It was-
really a
it
good
was very
film.
trippy.
Yeah.
Niven to Bond is like Peter Cushing to Doctor Who.
Oh,
It
yes.
is,
It's its own
Absolutely great
separate
analogy.
thing.
That is
What a
very
good
apt.
analogy, actually. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so
That's what we're
the
talking
one
about,
and only appearance.
Mhm.
Thank God.
Not even in the running. Anyway, so let me tell you about the time that I was in Australia and I worked at a pub. And
What does this have to
Lazenby.
do with James Bond?
so I said after, because when I had worked at the pub, I had been there for 6 months and I was frustrated because I was working on a Sunday morning. And I said, you know what? And I've been
Sexually
here for
frustrated.
6 months and no one
For
has
real.
apologized for George Lazenby. And the
Lazenby.
entire
For who?
bar turned on me. They were like,
Dude, do you
there's
realize-
nothing. That's
You know,
sorry.
Aussies aren't quite as refined and held back as Brits. They'll like punch your lights out. You were
No, I
asking
know, but
for a
I had the
fight.
benefit of a bar and the
Okay.
control of the alcohol.
Just so you know.
I'm
Probably don't
no,
wanna
I've
pick a fight with
interacted,
one.
I've served, I've exchanged money with many an Australian, and I made fun of George Lazenby once, and I will never
Lazenby.
do it again. Whatever, I don't care.
I
So,
really liked Lazenby, actually. I thought he was.
I did as well.
wasn't
he's
too
the
bad.
most emotional
He's
of all the
okay.
Bonds.
It's a
He's
shame
kind of
because if
a
Sean
weenie.
Connery did that film, it would have been amazing. But yeah, it's Lazenby.
The only thing
Well,
that
I
irritated
used to
me
say that,
about
but I'm not so
Lazenby
sure now.
was
Sorry, guys.
breaking the fourth wall in the film.
Yes,
That
that
is,
was
yes.
awful.
Did not like that at all.
Yes.
This
I
never
didn't
happened
like
to the
that.
other fella. Yeah, that bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know? I've thought a lot about this, probably more than I actually should.
Fair enough.
I should be
somebody's got
focused on.
to.
But I wondered about. You know, I used to say exactly the same as Ian. I used to think, oh, if only Connery had played Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Can you imagine what that would have been?
Yeah.
But
think it'd
in
been great.
recent years, I've thought about this a lot, and Sean Connery. You know, he started to get really tired with the role in You Only Live Twice, right? Hence why he didn't come back for this one. And I wonder whether a bored, fed up Sean Connery would have actually worked in On Her
Exactly.
Majesty's Secret Service. You know what
No,
I
but
mean?
you don't think of it that way. You think of it in a way that if he was in his prime and he did this one, that's the way I think about it. No,
That's
but
what-
that's what I'm saying. The ideal thing would have been him in his prime, still into Bond, playing this part. It would have been amazing, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I'm on Keith's side. I
Well,
think
la di da.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just saying
Anybody
I don't want a
else?
man to stand alone,
mean-
and so but I think that people.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just recently rewatched You Only Live Twice, and Connery is already sort of bored.
Yeah, but like, I'm sorry, he's a better fit for Bond, in my opinion, than Lazenby. And like,
What?
I think he would have pulled a
Lazenby.
lot more suave and
Lazenby.
debonair kind
Like
of thing.
Lazy Boy, but Lazenby.
Just looking at my list of films, because Lazenby fitted in between
He did.
Connery, and I'm just thinking, looking at the list of films with what you guys have just said about On Her Majesty's Secret Service, because I think it's a great film.
Yes.
It is a good film.
It's a
It's
missed
decent.
opportunity for Connery. Maybe
Yes.
it was all leading up to that
Yeah.
role.
It's definitely one of the best
That
stories in one of the most important films.
and he dropped the ball. And he dropped
And
the
the
ball.
soundtrack is
Yeah.
amazing in that
The
film. The
John
Barry.
soundtrack.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now
In-
that's true.
In production of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Sean Connery would have been given the script first
Mm.
to make him come back as James Bond, and he said no.
Well,
big
I mean, I
mistake.
kind of understand where Keith's coming from. You know, if he was just like, "Oh, I'm like kind of done right now, or I'm bored of this. I don't
Yeah.
really do it." If his
We
heart
were
wasn't
on a
into it
break.
and he phoned it in, then yeah, maybe it wouldn't have been as good. But I just think he would have been better than Lazenby, and that's just my
It's-
personal opinion.
I still maintain
that
that Sean Connery would not have made me feel the way that George Lazenby did
But
in the
Lazenby was
final
kind of
scene.
cheesy.
But after Tracy gets shot in the head, spoilers. I don't think I would have believed the emotion coming from Connery.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Whenever I think of George Lazenby, I think of that emotional final scene, and the rest of the movie is like, yeah, no, he's flippant, sort of Australian Cary Grant. I don't get it. He's fine. He's not as good as Dalton, and whatever. But that last final scene is where I redeem the whole movie.
But you can't base his outing as Bond on one scene, dude. I mean, it just
I can do whatever I want.
No,
I'll shrink it down to one word. It's Sean Connery can't say the word Tracy.
That is actual linguistic science.
I'm not saying.
Oh, and also rest in peace, Sir Sean Connery.
Yes. No, I mean the thing is, Majesties is such a good movie all round.
Yes.
I mean, Peter Hunt, who had been an editor previously, did a really solid job of directing this. I mean, it's a really well directed film. You've got great cast surrounding him. I mean, Diana Rigg as Tracy is awesome. The set pieces in this film are amazing. The soundtrack, as Ian has already said, by John Barry is incredible. I mean, there's a lot to like in Majesties. The worst in Telly Savalas is great. The worst thing in Majesties is because the book was
continuity.
You Only Live Twice. The Blofeld thing totally doesn't make sense because the books were written the other way around. So the fact that he'd already met Blofeld.
But we did have a continuation, didn't we? In Diamonds Are Forever. Where is Blofeld? But he's beating everybody up in the beginning.
Picats in the chat. The continuity didn't line up with You Only Live Twice into Majesties. Yeah, so
that's what she said.
Yeah.
That's what Keith said.
That's what Keith said.
This film's also responsible for me thinking that James Bond was an inherited identity.
Yes. Good
Which,
point.
Well, it's not.
It's not, and it kind of pisses me off that the movie does that.
Time Prophet in the chats. Connery is the best Bond.
Hail the Time Prophet.
I value your opinion and agree to disagree.
But he didn't act, did he? I mean, they saw him in an ad, and then they gave him an audition. He was good at the fight, and then they cast him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he kind of
when I read that, I'm like, are you kidding?
As well, I mean,
did he?
He became a bit of a stalker. He went to the tailor that supplied Sean Connery's suits. He got his hair cut at the same barbers, and then he hunted down basically Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman and basically kind of said, you've got to give me a chance, and they did.
Wow.
And
there's a movie there's like a sort of not a mockumentary, but a documentary, a reenactment kind of thing that talks about George Lazenby's tenure as the only solo James Bond. It's quite entertaining. You just have to concede that it's George Lazenby, and it's an interesting story. He was a model, and he found out that they were hiring for James Bond, and he was like, I want that job. And
he did a good job in the film, as far as I'm concerned. I there were some bits in it that he was a bit stale, but more or less, he did. I think he did a good job, in my opinion. And throughout the years, I've grown to love this movie. I've seen it. I saw it 2 years ago, and I loved it. Then I'll probably watch it again. Yeah, it's a good film, and it's fun as well. It's got the got the tongue-in-cheek stuff. And, yeah.
Well, it's fun, but I just don't see
he
him
did
as
appear
James
as
Bond
Bond again
personally.
as well.
He did. Yes.
The Return of the Men from Uncle.
Man from Uncle. Yes. Yes, he did. Yeah.
Did he ever do?
But he wasn't called James Bond, was he? He was called JB.
No, not really.
JB.
So I don't
JB.
really see it as a Bond film personally because I don't know. It just didn't feel like it.
Wait,
I don't know, Reni.
Okay, so
you don't feel like OHMSS is a Bond movie?
That's just me personally. I just don't feel like he was.
Okay,
James
I'm
Bond.
just asking for
That's just me.
confirmation. Is all. I'm not
That's how
making
I
a
feel.
judgment.
You're welcome to feel that
Okay,
way.
so you're just
Okay.
you have stricken this movie from the canon.
on that bombshell, shall we move on then? Okay,
Yes.
so
Roger
first
Moore.
James
So
Bond
I will just say
Deal.
After Lazenby left, obviously Connery came back and did a couple more, did he?
No, one.
One more.
Yeah, I did a last hurrah.
And then in 1973,
and his
the
acorn.
great man himself, Sir Roger Moore, living
My
in
name is
Royale,
Bond. James Bond. Roger
shares
Moore.
the same birthday as me.
Wait, he's still the actor that has done the most official Bond films out of anyone.
Yep,
So,
he is the Tom Baker of the James Bond world.
Love Roger Moore.
Beautifully put.
Absolutely. He's brilliant. I love Roger Moore, I must say. Roger
Same
Moore,
here.
part of my childhood. I love him, and I think he was brilliant as James
Same
Bond. I don't
here.
care what anyone says. I
Yeah.
even liked Moonraker.
Yeah.
And
love
that is
Moonraker.
all I'm going to say about
Oh.
Roger
Same here.
Moore.
Mine goes back even further because I used to watch him on repeats of The Saint.
Oh, God,
And
yeah,
I
he was
used
great.
I used to be glued to that. That was a great series.
It was.
Dalek
that the,
451 in the chat says, I would say Sean Connery is the most iconic Bond. And I would say to Dalek 451, look at your screen.
Nice.
And
Time Prophet
also,
says.
the
Go
first
on.
Emma
Bond
Peel
that
was fucking smoking, dude. I'm sorry for the
Oh
swear.
yeah,
She was.
yeah.
What's yeah?
She was.
You know, I feel like Roger Moore brought more so Sean Connery to me was a more serious Bond. Roger Moore was the more fun and relatable Bond. And maybe it's because when I started watching him as a kid, I just thought, oh, this is a really fun series and I'm really enjoying it. But when I would go back to the Connery ones, I'm like, well, it's really not so much fun. So I don't know if maybe that's it, because I did like movies like Moonraker, and my favorite James Bond film is A View to a Kill. So Christopher Walken as the villain.
Oh, wow.
I loved
Wow.
Christopher Walken. So, and Austin Powers got a lot of his ideas from the Roger Moore era, and or Mike Myers got his Austin Powers ideas from there. And it was a lot. I don't know. It's just a lot of really great, enjoyable stuff that, of course,
Absolutely.
it's completely unbelievable, but you suspend the disbelief and you just enjoy the show. And I've always loved him as Bond, and he'll always be my favorite. So.
Dalek.
there's a little known fact that Roger Moore played James Bond before he became James Bond.
What?
In a sketch.
Oh.
sketch. I can't remember. It's black and white. I saw it in black and white. I don't know if it was in black and white, but I
You
can't
guys
remember what
hating
show
black
it
and
was.
white films is really
No, I love black and white films. I can't
All
remember
right,
what
anyway,
show it
you
was.
Tell your story.
No, so I'm just saying I can't remember what show. Maybe Keith will enlighten me. What show was it? Do you know, Keith?
I cover it actually on my. When I did the review of the Blu-ray of Live and Let Die. It's actually on there.
Oh wow, great!
And
cool.
It was I think it was called Mainly Maleficent or something like that. It was a TV kind of variety show. And it was just a sketch where he was playing Bond and he had to meet up with a Russian agent. It's actually on the Blu-ray.
Cool.
And it's not very good. It's a bit cheesy and whatever, but it's just fascinating to see a Saint era Roger Moore playing James Bond,
Keith, can I interrupt you just for 1 second? When we get to
Well, you're
Pierce
going
Brosnan,
to.
are you going to talk about Remington Steele? Do you have the box set for Remington Steele?
Who are you asking that?
You.
Me?
Yeah,
No, I
he's-
don't have the box set for Remington.
So in
Although I do
terms of
remember
your
Remington.
fandom, when it comes to James
Keith.
Bonds, you've got the previous
Oh, Scotty, why you gotta pick a fight, bro?
I'm not right. I'm impressed that he has
okay. I'm
the
like,
Saints. I'm just
Oh, it's
asking
only
if
'cause
I'm
it's
in
only
for
'cause
it.
it's on the Live and Let Die.
You're all
Blu-ray.
talking
was
over each
not-
other.
That's the only reason I've got it.
Fair enough. And I appreciate, hey, your knowledge is without question.
Garlic451 in the chat says the man of the legend, Roger Moore.
Absolutely.
Connery
That's right.
is the most iconic, but Moore is the best.
Wasn't
Okay,
Roger
well,
Moore in a
I can agree
Jean-Claude
with
Van
I
Damme
can agree
movie?
with that.
He
I'll
was.
concede.
Then MC says Roger Moore was my first Bond. Then
Yeah, mine
MC again. I bought Spy Who Loved Me, Live and Let Die, and Moonraker recently.
The books, I
Nice.
hope.
Time Prophet. Sean Connery made Never Say Never Again, and it's not canon because it's the remake of Thunderball
Yes.
and was not by Broccoli.
Mm.
Yeah.
Roger Moore, though, seriously, he was the man. I mean, yes, Sean Connery is. I love Sean Connery, but Roger Moore's part of my childhood. You know,
just love
Spy
him.
Loved Me.
Absolutely.
So it's I as a male and as a straight male, I adore this man. This man
He's just a
is
legend. He's a
amazing,
fucking legend.
yeah.
A legend. He's a fucking legend.
The first
Yes.
Bond I saw on the big screen, it was my nan took me to a double bill of The Man with the Golden Gun and The Spy Who Loved Me back in
Oh,
the
get in.
Awesome,
70s.
awesome.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I was obsessed. I mean, I'd seen a few others in passing, but from that point onwards, that was the beginning of my true Bond obsession.
You know, and I feel if you grow up with him, it's just kind of holds a special place in your heart. And I also feel like Roger Moore had the most fun, like toys, like the things that looked like they weren't so malevolent, but they'd actually blow your head off or, you know, blow up a wall or something. And that was fun as a kid too. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Murder
What's that going to do?
gadgets.
Yeah, all the fun gadgets. You know, he had a lot of those.
He was. I mean, even from the very first film he was in, which was Live and Let Die, the comedy creeped in, and it just suited him down to a T. It really did.
And you know,
Yeah.
he pulled it off like with everything, with the look. He just had to give a look sometimes, and it was.
Mm.
And he
just
had a
pulled it off.
car, that
Mm.
turned into a fucking submarine.
Oh yes, heck yeah! Who didn't
My
want one of
jaw
those?
Yeah.
dropped.
Nobody did it better than this guy.
I like the bit where he comes out the water and the window opens and he has the fish in his hand and he drops it.
Fucking fish.
In Sardinia.
It's brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely
In the
brilliant.
chat, Andy Masterson, hello Andy. Moore was better in the Saint because the writing was better. Moore's Bond didn't have very good writing in Andy's.
Oh, I beg to differ there, mate.
Yeah.
Moonraker. Look at Moonraker.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
here's
Andy,
the
come
thing.
on.
Here's the thing. The Moore era, they really only kind of took the titles and some of the character names and a very loose premise, but they weren't adapted from the books in the same way as the Connery Lazenby era. So that they were different. They were very different.
Well, I
Very
think I think we can agree that Goldfinger, Moonraker, and the Spy, which is the one with Stromberg and the Underwater City.
Spy Love
Spy
Me.
Who Loved
Spy
Me.
Love Me.
Yeah, so Spy.
77.
Those three movies are the same. They're the same movie.
They are, yeah.
Which is
You're
the
right.
best Roger Moore movie?
Spy Love Me.
I
Yeah.
already said it. View to a Kill. Christopher Walken.
I
Can't beat
know, I
it.
know. That was, but that was the first James
But
Bond
that's
movie
just
that I
me.
ever
That's
saw.
my opinion.
But that's and so it has a very special, like,
And Duran did the main song. I mean, come on.
Duran, yes.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a big part of
I have never
Just when
seen
you
such
saw it
a
and what it
physically
meant to
fit
you.
woman as Mayday.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Keith?
Yeah,
No,
Keith,
I'm just saying that's the thing, isn't it? Like
Mm.
Bond movies, like for example, a very unpopular Roger Moore Bond movie that I really like is Octopussy.
Mhm.
And the reason
I don't
for
think it's
that
too bad.
was the first Bond film that I ever saw on home media. Okay,
Mhm.
before then,
nice.
it had always been on TV, and the TV
Betamax.
ones always had adverts and they were cut for violence and time and all of that sort of stuff. But this was the first time I was able to put a VHS tape in, watch it uninterrupted, and then the next morning watch it again. You know,
Yeah.
so Octopussy, which I still think is a really fun film, actually has quite a special place in my heart, you know, for that reason. And that's the thing. I think it depends where you were and at what stage of your life and what the experience was that you saw these things. You know?
I just like to, sorry, mate. I just like to add, right? These things, these films that we watch, whether it be Bond or Star Wars, whatever, the people that actually hold the IP to them, they don't realize that they are part of our lives and it's very important. And yet they treat it all like shit. It's ridiculous now. It's so ridiculous. Sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say to Keith, we call those halcyon days the VHS days.
Yeah, for sure.
Those happy days of VHS tapes from the rental shop.
Yeah, man, that was amazing those days.
Life was good. Life was good.
It was.
I will just say my favourite Moore film is probably, I'd say, The Spy Who Loved Me. But I'm very, very partial to Moonraker.
But Jaws is so iconic, though, isn't he?
So partial to that.
Richard Keel is just so menacing as Jaws. I love him.
He had a great story arc as well, didn't he?
Well, dude, and like as a kid, going to the moon, it's like, oh, that's pretty freaking cool. I'm sorry, I just really love that. So
I do like For Your Eyes Only, though. I thought For Your Eyes Only was a good one as well,
That's
even though
a
it
good
didn't
one.
have.
For Your Eyes Only is like, oh, it's a good movie, but it's not one of my favorite Bond movies.
Theme.
Who was it that sang the theme song to that? Wasn't it someone?
Sheena Easton.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, probably one of the best.
Is that
themes.
All Time High?
No, that was
Rita Coolidge.
Octopussy, which is
Octopussy. Yeah, Octopussy.
Carly Simon has probably sung the best one from The Spy Who Loved Me. Nobody does it better.
Yeah, that is my second favorite James Bond theme.
Okay,
they filmed part of Octopussy where I lived when I was at secondary school. We all bundled down to Nene Valley Railway to see if we could get a look at him.
Oh, that's so cool.
But we got to see some of the train scenes being filmed.
Look at where Roger Moore's hand is there, cheeky man.
Hey, that's Peter Sellers' former wife, Britt Eklund.
Yes,
well done, Scotty. Well
Peter
done, Scotty.
Sellers did play James Bond in
Scotty.
the Casino Royale.
Well done, Scotty.
And also, Maud Adams was in Octopussy as well.
She was.
As well as Man the Golden Gun.
Yes,
she
and
came
she
back
is
from the dead.
smoking hot. And apparently she's supposed to be in A View to a Kill in a background scene because she was visiting Roger Moore to have lunch.
Apparently so, yeah.
It's a crowd scene. No one knows where she is, but she's sure she was there. And there are pictures of people who look like her husband at the time, or the dude that she was hanging out with, and whatever. And so, Maud Adams has technically been in 3 James Bond movies. She's uncredited in A View to a Kill. We don't know where she is, but she's there.
I also don't think anybody wears a safari jacket quite as well as Roger Moore.
Man of the 70s.
I can pull it off.
That is
He's a man of the 70s. That's what he is.
Sharp.
And the 80s. And the 80s.
And also, he's a 70s man. Let's put it that way. You know.
Yeah.
He can rock some flares, mate. I tell you, he really does.
Man.
Right.
The bell-bottom gun barrel. Oh my stars.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He can rock those eyebrows as well.
He does.
Those are iconic eyebrow moves of his.
Like he does those things like, I don't know. I can't do that.
Well, and when we talk about James Bond as opposed to Roger Moore, there are moments in Roger Moore's performance where he sort of emulates Connery's more aggressive nature, especially when it comes to women. And he's been
The first 2.
Yeah, and how they were sort of written for Sean Connery as opposed to being written for Roger Moore, because they were writing for James Bond, and then did the celebrity become bigger than the character?
That's more or less what happened. He was huge as James Bond, and he would say, "I don't really want to do that. I wouldn't do that." And then the director would say, "No, but that's Bond," and you go, "Well, no, I don't really feel." And then they had to do what Roger wanted, because he's such a huge star, and without him, there'd be no James Bond film. So
He did 7 James Bond films, if I've counted
But
correctly.
the only one was John Glenn that forced him to kick that car off the. Actually, Keith knows about this, don't you, Keith? About the was it For Your Eyes Only?
In For Your Eyes Only, they want, because they'd done Moonraker previously, they wanted to bring it a bit more down to earth and have a more sort of serious Bond film. And there's the scene where the car is hanging off the side of the cliff, and John Glenn, who was the director, wanted Roger to kick the car. And Roger didn't really want to do it, but he did it. And I have to say, I think it's his most kick-ass moment.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's out of character, but it's cool because it's out of character. You know what I mean? For him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I watched it recently, and there's a scene in it where Roger Moore's running up these stairs. You could tell he's struggling just to run up those stairs. It's so funny. But yeah.
Old age comes to us all, mate. Okay,
Bless
so
him.
shall we move on from the legend Sir Roger?
If we must.
God
To the
bless
best,
him.
to the best
God
James
bless him.
Bond.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Hello, darling. How are you? You are the best James Bond.
He was brilliant in License. No,
Living
what's it called?
Daylights
Living
and
Daylights.
License to
that was
Kill.
it.
Living
Yeah.
Daylights,
He
1987.
was Daniel
License
Craig
to Kill,
before he was Daniel Craig.
89.
That is true,
So,
Scott.
Scotty, you can start then.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig is the best James Bond. It's because the first movie is a mission. His job is to assassinate someone.
This
who
is
going to
Timothy
be trying...
Dalton, though.
Yeah, no, I know. The Living Daylights.
okay.
He's like, he
Wait.
goes and he shoots the chick with the cello, right?
Okay.
Because they have nothing to declare except the cello. I'm going to talk in shorthand. I love that movie. I love the villains in it. I love the henchman with the guy with the headphones. The Living Daylights theme song is great. It is incorporated into the theme. The only downside about this movie is, I suppose this would be a political trigger warning, is that he works with the Afghanistan militia. I don't know the name. It's like the movie. It says it starts with an M. Anyway, so it's kind of like Rambo 3 in that regard. It's an Afghanistan 1989 movie. It's of its time. But it does involve geopolitical, there's Soviet Union stuff. It is still well entrenched in the Cold War. It is a great, great James Bond movie. Although a little bland, you're not going to get a Goldfinger high off of this. It's good. License to Kill is heavy metal James Bond. You should watch it. If you haven't seen it before, you should watch it. It is Lethal Weapon meets James Bond. It is the first time that James Bond goes rogue, and boy, does he does it. He does it in style. He does it perfectly. Also, you get Carrie Lowell, who is smoking hot. You get Talia Soto, who is smoking hot. The Gladys Knight theme song is amazing, and
Which
quite
she didn't
frankly,
want to do.
Robert Duvall.
Sorry.
You should do karaoke, Ian.
Yeah, she didn't want to do that, did she?
No,
but
and
she did
apparently
it.
there are lawsuits and
That's
whatever.
why she says
But-
license to kill.
Kilt.
I
Yeah.
think they're talking about Sean Connery
Oh my
again.
gosh, that's so right.
You get Robert Davi, you get
yes.
Benicio del Toro in like one of his
Gross.
first roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Very
and
young.
he
I
is
don't like
gross.
him.
He is, well, and you're not supposed to. So anyway, yeah, why? Is it because of The Last Jedi? Show me on the
I just
doll
have
where The
really
Last
liked him
Jedi
as an
touched you.
actor, but that's
Pack
just
it
me.
in.
And he's always he always plays like the same character.
I liked him as the
in every
Wolfman.
single movie, and he always acts the same, and it's just boring for me. But that's just me personally. That's my opinion.
Okay, I wasn't.
Rob.
Anyway, so I love Timothy Dalton. I passed the shoe.
Rob, what do you think to Dalton?
Freeze, you bloody bastards! I remember it was Prince Baron from Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought it was all right. I was actually looking forward to him as James Bond when it was announced, and I think he turned in some pretty decent movies.
Did.
Mustn't grumble. In fact,
No,
I
I'll agree with
do believe I'm due to have a rewatch of the Dalton era.
It's a shame he only did 2.
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
Was it really just
getting
2?
into them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 2.
Oh,
I
bloody
think he
hell.
just didn't get a fair enough shot, you know?
Wasn't there some kind of legal wrangles?
Yes.
Because there's quite a
Yeah.
There was
long
studio
hiatus,
things.
It was
isn't
a Sony rights thing about
Yes.
the distribution and the home media rights, and it meant that they had a massive. That's why there was a 6-year gap between
License to Kill and
Goldeneye.
Goldeneye.
Hence why they'd sort of moved on by that point. But I think I'm in agreement. I think Dalton was an absolute excellent Bond, and in terms of characterization, there's nothing that Daniel Craig's done with Bond that Timothy Dalton didn't do 18 years earlier. It's just
Timothy Dalton did it better.
Well, at that
Wow.
point, I think the world wasn't ready for it. They'd just come off the back of a massively long run of Roger Moore, playing a more sort of humorous Bond, etc. So Timothy Dalton for a lot of people was a shock to the system because he brought it right back to the Fleming roots and gave us this really hard-edged Bond in 2 excellent movies, actually.
Well, and Keith, if I may interrupt, just
again,
speaking of,
You are going to.
yeah, but this time I asked. No,
right.
but like in this sort of when people are reinterpreting characters across all of the entertainments that are happening now in this day and age, 2021, and they haven't read the source material. I appreciate that Timothy Dalton went back and was like, okay, well, I'm playing James Bond. I got to read the books. Like, duh. And he went and did that sort of research towards it. And it wasn't about what character he was trying to present. It was more of not what he was trying to present as an actor. It was what character is he trying to present. And I kind of feel that after Timothy Dalton is a great actor.
One.
All right. I'm just sorry. I'm going to gush. So I'll shut up for a while. You guys finish up with Tim.
Is that not what I just said?
Yes,
Yes,
I was
more or
gonna say,
less.
I think you're just re-emphasizing what you just said, Keith.
More or less.
I think Scotty
I just
likes
wanted to
Dalton.
give you an agreement hug.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Can I just please say, I really think that he deserved more of a fair shot, and he just kind of got caught in the middle of all that crap. And he wasn't funny and cute, cutesy like Roger Moore, but he's very handsome and
We have
debonair.
nothing to declare
And he
except
had
the
a lot-
cello.
Talking, and he had a lot of charisma. And it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see him play his version of Bond, but in 2 movies, because I think he got a bad rap because of all the crap that was surrounding the movies.
Yeah.
And, I just would have liked to see him do more because he's a great actor. I love Timothy Dalton. Oh my gosh. There's nothing he's in that he's bad in. He's awesome.
Wasn't Dalton the replacement for Brosnan because he was unavailable because of
more or
I
less.
think so. Yeah.
So it was kind of a happy accident anyway, wasn't he?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair. He just got dealt an unfair hand. He came in at the wrong time, and that wasn't his fault. What are you going to do?
He was. I remember him
make 2
smoking in the
amazing
films. He was smoking, wasn't he? In the films, he had a cigarette in his hand. He actually slapped Carol Bliss's bottom in one scene. I remember. He was. He did. He did. I don't remember when he puts the glasses on her face and it's crooked. And then he slaps her ass, doesn't he? And do you know what I mean?
So before smoking was illegal in movies because they can't do that anymore because it's bad habits. But, it was considered cool.
Peacock in the chat says
actually has a smoking advisory at the end credits.
Oh, wow.
It does, yeah.
Peacock in the chat. Roger Moore felt Dalton was too good to play Bond.
He was a very serious actor at that moment in time, and they wanted him before, but he turned them down because he said he was too young to play him. And then when they eventually got him, you know what? Seriously, I think I really loved Dalton in The Living Daylights. I thought he was amazing in it, and I really liked the film as well. The film wasn't too over the top. It was just the right balance, and I loved the romance in it. I think the romance worked really well. I thought she was cute. And the film worked really well. There's a few Roger Moore lines in there, salt corrosion and all that stuff.
I like salt corrosion.
But the car is brilliant as far as I was concerned. That chase was really good. And the music, you can't fault John Barry. John Barry's music was absolutely amazing. And one more thing, the beginning scene with the SAS was absolutely fantastic.
It was
that was John Barry's final score.
It was, yeah.
Oh, wow. Z3PO, anything to add before we move on?
No, just a little bit disappointed we didn't get any more. I honestly thought he did
Yeah.
3 films sitting
2.
here, but no, definitely 2. It was good to see him again turn up in Doctor Who's Rassilon. Disappointed he
Yeah.
didn't come back for that either.
What is that?
And I love
I
him
was,
as Neville
Doctor Who.
Sinclair in The Rocketeer.
Oh, can I add one more thing? I really love him in Hot Fuzz, and I know that
Hey,
has
excellent.
nothing to do with
Hey!
Bond, but I love him in Hot Fuzz.
I was
His
just about to
character
say
is
that.
awesome.
We had that thing in his mouth. Well, you know, the little
Could you give me
Could
some?
somebody
Ooh.
help me here? Yeah.
Okay, so the last film, License to Kill, 1989, and then the lawyers got involved.
Yes, they did.
So
Well,
we will
she
move on
was. She must have
to.
scared the living daylights out of her. So
I
We will
can't
move
wait
on
to
to-
see which picture of Pierce
Moments
Brosnan
of
did you
shock.
choose. The perfect picture of Pierce Brosnan.
he's trying to look serious there, isn't he? Even though he's a light
Yeah.
actor.
But
He was good.
Did you guys ever feel like he
GoldenEye.
was kind of like Remington Steele trying to be James Bond, or was that just me because I knew him as Remington Steele?
No, it's because you're American, yes.
Rude.
I think
I
he
knew
was a
him
really
as
good
Remington
all-rounder.
Steele.
What was that, Keith?
I said I think he was a really good all-rounder.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
because
was.
he kind of had the suaveness of Connery. He was sort of a better looking Timothy Dalton, and but he was able to pull off the humor and stuff like Roger Moore. So I thought he was kind of a good all-rounder, actually. Pierce was. He didn't necessarily have the best movies, but
Yeah.
GoldenEye's a great
GoldenEye
movie.
is amazing.
GoldenEye's a great movie.
I will
Apart from the
say, not
soundtrack
to
was
disagree,
rubbish.
but I do think Timothy Dalton's better looking. That's all I'm going to say about that.
oh right, okay, interesting.
Rennie,
me.
we're friends.
I
did,
thought he kind of went a bit mega on Bond, and Bond became more of a global franchise with more greater appeal. I mean,
True.
the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye game
Oh, what a
is one
game.
of the best all-time sellers.
Best games ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a fun game.
And we until then we didn't really have movie tie-in video games.
Do you remember the trailer with when they first introduced him? He walks
Brilliant.
towards
Were you
screen.
expecting someone
it?
else?
Yeah, that's the one. I thought it was quite
that was
clever.
so
Yeah.
cute.
It's a new world with new enemies and new allies, but you can still depend on one man.
Yes,
Love
Pew,
right.
pew, pew, and zing, and it goes to the 7, and then it zooms in, and then Pierce Brosnan from silhouette walks towards the camera. You were expecting someone else?
We were.
Fucking awesome! Awesome trailer!
It is
Yeah.
one of the best trailers. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. He was good in GoldenEye. He was really good as far as I was concerned. I didn't like the soundtrack to the film because I thought the music was terrible, but
Only
he was a really
that
good Bond.
one sort of weird 70s electronic jazzy thing.
Brosnan did GoldenEye 1995, Tomorrow Never Dies 97, The World
Love
is
Which
Not
I
one.
love.
Tomorrow
The
Never
World
Dies
is Not
is
Enough
good.
99, and then started going pear shape at
He
Die
had
Another Day
3 good
2002.
Die Another
Yeah.
Day is the worst, James.
Three good ones and one naff one. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then
The
that
Aston
crappy
Martin
Madonna
lost me.
song. Do you guys
Invisible
remember
Car.
that Madonna song?
Yes.
that
Yeah, the
Diana-
car
oh,
lost me. That was it
Yuck.
for me.
This
Yeah.
is all bad. Poor guy.
I did. There's one that he did that made me really sad when Q was the last film, and he says, "Always have an escape plan," or whatever it was, and he goes down.
Yeah,
I felt
never
really
believe.
sad when that happened.
Aw.
The
Yeah.
world is
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
enough.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also you got John Cleese as R, and then promoted to Q. But
but
no, but I enjoyed
It's not the same.
Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan has my favorite James Bond hair.
yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Like,
It's good hair. It's
Die
got good
Another
hair.
Day. The World Is Not Enough. Those are good fucking James Bond haircuts. I apologize for the swear. So
My only criticism of the Brosnan era is CGI was in its infancy then,
Yes.
and
Yes.
boy does it
Yeah.
show when they're using it.
when he parasails off of a tsunami.
Oh, fuck.
Like, even if you haven't seen the history of James Bond specials on like Netflix or wherever you can get these histories and stories, hearing the tales from the actors, and Pierce Brosnan as an actor and as a performer is really in like, he tells a great story. He'll let you know what ridiculousness he had to do. And it was like, well, you know, we were making James Bond movies. There are images of him plugging his ears as he is on a hydrofoil. And I'm like, well, those are the costs of, being James Bond, I suppose.
It's really sad the way they fired him. They just phoned him up and said, your services are no longer. Yeah. It's horrible. That's
really?
horrible.
They just said your services are no longer required and that's it?
Yeah, more or less.
Consideration?
You're a great James Bond. Thanks very much. And then he just said, thank you very much. Goodbye. And then that was it. That was it. Game over.
I think he was genuinely devastated, wasn't he?
He was.
And
he had two more left in him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really think you're right. And I apologize if this was said after I accidentally bounced out by my own stupidity, but
critical mass.
Yeah, no, I hit a button because I'm awesome like that. But do you guys feel like they started him too late and then kind of had the attitude, well, you're kind of too old to play Bond now after a couple movies? I feel like that's kind of what happened.
Stop hiring old guys.
I think it wasn't his fault. It was more the producers and the writers with the car.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They started him too late as Bond,
the
late
fucking
in
car
life.
did me, and I think with the car that went invisible.
Well, the one that you could hide behind.
It just got so stupid. Die Another Day. I just thought I'm out.
But that wasn't his fault. It was bad writing.
I know.
It's
I know.
kind of like Capaldi with Doctor Who. He got stuck with bad writing.
He got the shit end of the stick.
Appallingly written. I mean, there are so many things in that story that literally don't make any sense whatsoever. And I know people go, "Oh, but it's a Bond movie," but most of the Bond movies, outlandish as they may be, they do actually have some plot logic. Whereas Die Another Day had none. It's just
it was all over the place, wasn't it, Keith?
Yeah,
I find it really hilarious.
Yeah.
But it is
good points.
Time Profit in the chat. Did you know the two MiGs in GoldenEye were done on a Commodore Amiga? Wow.
Nice.
Like much of Babylon 5.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Time Profit again. Invisible cars should not be in James Bond. Agreed.
How do you feel about space lasers?
You know what I mean?
Probably.
Why would you want to make a lovely Aston Martin invisible anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it doesn't
get
work.
Away from the space lasers, duh.
The adaptive camouflage works by the cameras on one side projecting what's on the other. Yeah?
No,
that's how it's explained.
Didn't you see the projectors
behind it?
So you can't hide behind it because
you can't hide
show
behind
a picture
it
of you on the other side. I know what you're saying, man.
You guys, it's so hard to hear Keith. His mic is so low. Keith, what were you saying?
Was it? No, I was agreeing, I think. I can't remember what I was saying.
Because Scotty's overtaking the stream. Not Brian Young in the chat. Hail, Brian. The Swedish Defence Material Administration are working with BAE to develop the Vanquish tech for a fleet of tanks. Article in Wired this week.
Yeah, that's true.
And did sort of adaptive camouflage in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah. Did they ask John Cleese to help them then design it? Or not?
No, they asked the Predator.
Oh right, okay.
Oh my god.
They asked Gary Busey.
Predator research.
Is Gary Busey still alive?
He is.
Have you guys seen it?
All right.
He looks awful.
Good news.
He looks so bad.
Knights MC, by the way, Knights MC.
I love Pierce Brosnan. I thought he was terrific. I love the bit where he does the thing with his tie in the tank. Is fantastic.
Yeah, Ian, did you notice I did that for you in my review of one of the?
You did.
I did that because I knew you liked the. I thought one person will laugh at that, so it
was me.
Now, before we move on to our next Bond, there is one thing that I'd like to highlight about Pierce Brosnan is that he was a very emotional Bond. When you got to Tomorrow Never Dies, he said that he wanted something from the past, and that's why you have Paris Carver being an ex-lover of James Bond. And then when he was clearly being all emotional, all lovey-dovey with Electra King in The World Is Not Enough, and then you get I can't even think about.
Puts a bullet in her.
Yeah, no, I know, and then he kisses her.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he was in love with her.
Because he's a fucked up weirdo murderer.
He was,
But
yeah.
like there
License
are
to Kill.
emotional in terms of the performance of Pierce Brosnan during that tenure. There are character traits that are brought to the highlight, and those were choices by the actors. And so I want to highlight, like, Pierce Brosnan was the one that I basically grew up with.
I'll tell you what, though, Pierce Brosnan, apart from Roger Moore and Sean Connery, he was the one that actually made me laugh when he was with Q. When when Timothy Dalton was with Q, it didn't make me laugh. But that bit where he introduces the car and the phone thing, I just loved that scene. I think that was so cool. And I think Pierce Brosnan really worked well with what's the guy's name? Desmond Llewellyn.
Well, and what about Judi Dench? Their relationship was interesting.
Yeah, that worked. Yep, that
Yes.
worked too. Yeah.
I love Judi Dench's M, though. I love
Yes,
her.
but I think that the relationship between M and Bond during the Brosnan era is better than the M and Bond relationship during the Craig era.
But they kept
I
the
will
jokes.
disagree on that.
They kept the jokes with him and Q. They kept the jokes, and I loved all that stuff. You know, him getting tired of him touching his stuff, and bring it back in one piece and all that. I just thought it was terrific. But hey.
No, you make some good points, Ian. I really do like that. And I forgot about it because I didn't watch Brosnan as much as I watched, of course, Moore. My mom was a huge Sean Connery fan. So, she watched the hell out of that. And, I really liked Timothy Dalton. I felt like he was the Bond you never got enough of. But I watched the Pierce Brosnan movies a couple times. It's just not as much as those guys.
Yeah.
Right, shall we move on then? So we're agreed there probably was a couple more films.
It was, with him.
Yeah. Kind of like Dalton, he didn't get a fair shake.
The producers pulled the plug, didn't they? So
haters.
Hey, at least he got to do those 4 though.
Yeah.
True.
3 of which were great.
Absolutely terrific.
So from 2002 to 2006.
Introducing Mr. Potato Head. There we go. Mr. Potato Head as Mr. Bond. Yeah.
Don't agree with that, Ian.
I don't care.
No.
Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. Who would like to start first? Reni.
She didn't agree with that.
Please don't judge me on this because I'm the only female here. But to me, hottest Bond in the franchise, hands down. Absolutely. And I will say I was kind of skeptical growing up on James Bond because, like I told you guys, Roger Moore was my Bond, and I'm like, well, why does he have blonde hair? Couldn't dye his hair? What the hell? And then I watched Casino Royale, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I do think that it's kind of interesting but conflicting at the same time where, his first Bond movie is supposed to be the first outing as Bond, so to speak, even though there's higher technology than there was like when Sean Connery started out. But it's supposed to show you his first outing as Bond and how he became 007, so to speak. I think they did a great job with it. I do think that his Bond was a little bit more serious, not as much humor. He did bring a lot of, I'm trying to think, a lot of sensuality to the role, where I think that they tried to steer away from that as like Bond kind of went on, and they tried not to do so much of that kind of stuff, which I definitely understand. They also showed him playing a lot more mind games and just, like the first, I want to say it was the first 2 movies. Yeah, it was the first 2 movies where he really didn't get any gadgets or gizmos, right? It was just all basic, just, shooting guns or, fighting people fisticuffs. I mean, yeah, he had a defibrillator in Casino Royale, but that was it. And then like the second movie, he gets, just regular stuff like guns and, all that. So he doesn't really get the fun toys until the 3rd or the 4th movie. And I do kind of like the guy. Yeah, that's true. The 3rd movie, he's like, what is this? He's like,
it's a radio and a gun.
Yeah.
He had a
exactly.
Gun. Yeah, he had a signature gun.
So, I did like the dynamic with him and the new Q. I didn't really like the new Q as much.
No, nor did I.
I think that they fit together more than he would have fit with like John Cleese's Q. I just don't think that would have meshed very well. But I did like the way that him and Judi Dench's M meshed together. Unfortunately, she passed in Skyfall. But I like him as Bond. He's not my favorite, but I think he does a great job of the role for what he's given. Of course, he doesn't get to choose what's written, and I feel like he's a more serious Bond. But I love all the action in his movies. There's so much action, and it's one of those things where you blink and you'll miss part of the storyline because something crazy just happened, So I appreciate that, and I like the fact that they're always trying to get your attention. But of course, Roger Moore's going to always be my favorite.
Rob?
Well, when Daniel Craig was cast initially, I was very hesitant about that. He didn't give me the same look or feel of James Bond. In fact, I thought his face looked like somebody had left a Luke Skywalker action figure on a radiator for fun.
And that is incredibly accurate.
Yes, but you're not a woman, so
No.
it's a little different. Yeah.
How dare you assume their gender?
I was convinced by the wife to go and see it with her on the big screen, despite my hesitancy.
Aww.
And from the pre-credit sequence, from the line, they say the second one is.
Yeah.
I was sold.
Yeah,
I was
pretty good
sold
line,
on him
right?
just at that point.
Yes.
Very cold though, isn't he? Because they have that little flash of the family when he shoots the guy in the beginning to be a 00.
Yep.
So it just goes to show how cold he is, because you can see the family picture and he doesn't care. That's his job to take him out.
Business is business, bro.
Time Profit in the chat. The Bourne Identity did Bond better than Bond.
Oh, I love those movies.
Yeah,
I love the Bourne movies.
Hard disagree.
Good
Scotty, Daniel Craig.
I've been rewatching the Daniel Craig's coming up to No Time to Die. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And so
good for you.
No, I don't like. Yeah, I know. Fair enough. I don't like Daniel Craig as James Bond because I miss the gentleman from The Gentleman Spy. There are moments that are they're flashing. There are flashes of charming, but not enough for me to be like. I kind of agree. Bourne. I want James Bond to be a gentleman spy, and Daniel Craig is a spy. Yep, but he's not a gentleman. So I want my murderer. Adulterer to be
your murderer
to be a little bit more charming. So when I watch these movies, I get the overarching story of the Craig era and I appreciate it for what it is. I like to have my own headcanon as to each movie where they fit in.
Yeah.
And I pepper them in because they're all James Bond. And so, but yeah. I would say out of James Bond's 1 out of 10.
Ooh. Peacock in the chat. Craig started out as the savior after Die Another Day. Was extremely poor Bond movie. He became the Anakin of the franchise.
Most successful movie.
What Bond film?
Was it Die Another Day? At the time, Die Another Day was the most successful movie.
It was huge.
God, it sucked.
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't his best. Yeah.
Oh, well, it was a time, wasn't it?
He had made a lot of money, though, so kudos.
Probably because everybody loved Brosnan, and it was like, yes, come on. And then we
Michael Madsen was in that movie.
Then we just got totally let down by whatever it was. Anyway, Ian, so Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. What do I think of Daniel Craig, eh? Well, he's Mr. Potato Head as far as I'm concerned. I don't think he's right for Bond at all.
Agreement hugs.
Even to this day, I still think he's the wrong person to play Bond. I don't find in the first one, Casino Royale, he was quite young and he had a nice look. You know, I could just barely. But as he got older, the hair got shorter. He looked like a thug. And I agree with Scotty, even though I don't agree with Scotty a lot, but I do agree with him with this. I want my gentleman James Bond back. I want the laughs back. You know, I don't want to go as far as go back to the Roger Moore era, but I want a good balance between. Oh, somebody fell over.
Sorry, that was me.
It wasn't me this time. It wasn't me this time.
I want a good balance between, you know, a serious thriller as well as some fun and action and stuff like that. And I never got it in the Dalton ones. I do like Casino Royale though. I like it a lot. I've got the Blu-ray, I've got the DVD, and I did love the film a lot. Yeah, and the cards, yeah.
Which you didn't even know you had.
Exactly. But I really, no disrespect to him, he's a great actor, and I'm sure a lot of women fancy him. No disrespect to him, I still, to this day, think he's the wrong person to cast as James Bond. And that's where I'll leave it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He brought the hard knocks and the action, but didn't bring it with the sophistication.
Yeah.
I think it was more, people wanted more of those sort of Jason Bourne type films with just running around shooting and punching and killing and then getting sad for a bit.
Well, and if I may, we're talking about a 50-year franchise. Like we're talking about where trends were set because of these movies. And so at a certain point, if you're not making James Bond movies and setting those trends, like I had a conversation, and so I'm lifting a bunch of this from the conversation that I had, but like these were movies that were big extravaganzas of their time. And so at some point, they, instead of setting those trends, they chased them. And that started in the Roger Moore era with Live and Let Die, chasing blaxploitation, Moonraker, chasing Star Wars. You have the License to Kill, chasing Lethal Weapon. And you go forward, and all of these movies, and of course, there is going to be an eventual catch up when people say, "Oh no, the Bourne movies are." Bond movies are chasing Jason Bourne, and it's like, yeah, but Bourne movies wouldn't exist if it weren't for James Bond. So if there's a little bit of a wrestle there, I'm fine with it, and I appreciate the homage. But like, it's their competitors that have covered their the songs. It's fine.
Dalek451 in the chat. Let me make this clear now. I watched Casino Royale today. So did I. And Reni, and I was begging for it to end after the second hour. It was so unbearably boring.
I accept your apology.
It was long.
Oh my gosh,
it was long. It was long.
He's probably talking about the second act, because the first act was full of action. The second act was the game, wasn't it? The game, I think
the poker game.
Yeah,
the long bit.
Keith, thoughts on Mr. Craig?
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I as I said at the beginning, I like all of the Bonds for different reasons, but I like Daniel Craig a lot. I'm very envious of Daniel Craig because he's a few years older, but we're certainly of the same generation, and I'm also someone that's on the sort of blonde side of the hair spectrum as well. So I think he did a great job. I love the fact that he actually had an arc through the movies. You know, he's also the first actor to play James Bond that's also a producer of the franchise. He was very creatively involved in everything to do with this.
Exactly, don't it?
He was able to.
It's his fault. It's his fault.
Sorry.
But no, I think on the most part,
let Keith
speak. Forget it then. I won't bother.
Let Keith speak, please. Keith.
No, I was going to say, I think for the most part, apart from a few, if you like, retcons and mild continuity issues, overall, the arc of his 5 films was extremely satisfying. And you know, the points you guys made, which I do understand and respect about him being, yes, he's a bit more hard-edged, he's a bit more rough around the edges. However, throughout you do see the journey in the films, and he does get more sophisticated as the movies go on. So I think he does embrace more of the suaveness, like in Spectre when he ejects out of the Aston Martin and lands and takes off the parachute and goes, "Good evening," and all of that sort of thing. I thought he was getting there. So yeah, I really like him as Bond.
Well, according to M, she got something right.
There you go.
Scotty?
I will say, Keith, I agreed with what you said. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say I really appreciated your view. So,
Scotty,
the most civilized moment that Daniel Craig's James Bond ever made was with Vesper in the train. Was it a train car? No, not the train car. It was after the game, after James Bond won, and we secured the funds before the chair torture. And he is eating caviar and drinking the martinis, the Vespers. That's what he wants to call them because they're the best. And if you have anything else,
once you've had one, that's all you want to drink.
Exactly. And so that moment is the most elegant, best moment that Daniel Craig ever did in a James Bond since in any of the other movies. And so I don't think that he's matched that. I think Casino Royale is an amazing film. I think it's an amazing James Bond movie. Quantum of Solace is,
very underrated. Very underrated film.
I actually like Quantum of Solace.
Question of Sport, Quantum of Solace, totally edited wrong for me.
Yes. Also,
it needs a re-edit, and it'll be really, really good.
Yeah. Quantum of Solace is more of a. I always felt that was more of a Bourne film than a Bond film, actually.
I can see that.
Should have been Campbell directing it after Casino.
You have to take into account the writer's strike when it comes to that. And so it would have been a lot of directorial and anybody who had an idea, we have a release date, people. We have to have a James Bond movie. We have half a script. Let's make this. And I think that they did well. And I like it
the script. It's the 15 different angles per second that did me.
Yeah, it kind of jumps a lot. It's very
No.
I love horse races as much as the next guy.
So I've asked everybody. So before we move on, favorite Craig film, Scotty?
Casino Royale.
Reni?
Oh, it's a toss-up between Casino Royale and, this is not popular, Skyfall. But I really did like Skyfall. So it's a toss-up between those two.
Popular.
And still talking. And, it just kind of depends on my mood. So, like, if I'm in a really good... I'm going to get you around. If I'm in a really, like, like, intense mood, then I want to see, like, Casino Royale because it takes, like, concentration and it's all about the mental games. But if I want action, I'm going to watch Skyfall, Right. So it just really depends.
Yeah. Rob?
Yeah.
I just want to read a bit from a Time Out interview after the movie Spectre when he was asked if he'd consider doing another Bond movie, where he went, "I'd rather break this glass than slash my wrists. No, not at the moment, not at all. That's fine. I'm over it at the moment. We're done. All I want to do is move on." Craig then went on to clarify that if I did another Bond movie, it would only be for the money.
Okay. May I address that?
God, I appreciate the honesty. Jeez.
Keith, favorite Craig?
No, I want to address that quote specifically simply because it is like asking someone during the press tour, it is like asking someone 10 meters away from the end of the marathon whether or not you want to do a marathon. That quote is taken as a version, or like people get Craig all like he doesn't like being James Bond because of that quote. If you are at the end of your shift and someone says, "Do you want to stay for another like 8 hours? You want to stay?" And that is what my response would be. And so I appreciate Daniel Craig as an actor, but everyone says, "No, I don't want to work anymore on this crap."
Apparently, it was the continual injuries.
Yeah, he broke his leg and stuff.
And having to work through having a broken leg.
Yeah, but wasn't he the one that insisted on doing his own stunts?
In Quantum of Solace,
yeah. And Casino Royale, too. I mean, it's like 99% him. So, like, it's kind of his fault that he got injured because he wanted to do his own stunts.
This was for Spectre, I think, is when he was a broken man. So,
Keith?
Yeah, well, I mean, having been someone who has run a marathon, I do actually understand that analogy, and it sort of makes sense because when you're at mile 25 and someone says, would you do this again? And you're like, hell no. So I do agree with that.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, I mean, he's. I like all of his films, but if I had to pick one, it's hands down Casino Royale. That is a near perfect movie, I would say.
Yes, agreed.
Ian?
Casino Royale and Spectre, as far as I'm concerned. I like Spectre.
Nice.
I-
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I
I
love
like
you,
Spectre.
sir.
It's
It's better than Skyfall. I love it.
If Spectre is on TV, it's like with Skyfall, if that's on TV, I will sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
Spectre is long, but it's one of those movies where you're there for the experience.
Yep. No, as I
And
said,
I think it was unfairly criticised.
Hello, James.
it is. You know what? The thing I liked about Spectre is that they utilized all the characters that we know and loved in the Bond film. They utilized M. They utilized
Q.
Q, and also
Moneypenny.
Moneypenny. So they were all doing something towards the ending in the climax.
Oh,
and then I remember going to see Skyfall with Keith. And I remember me and Keith being disappointed with the film, but I remember going to see Spectre with Keith, and we both liked it. So we both liked it. So it's those two are my favorite.
Who's the actor who plays C?
Oh,
Moriarty in Sherlock.
But you know what? That's the thing that really pisses me off about, if I may, about Spectre, because he says,
"What's the name of the actor?"
Was it Andrew Scott or?
It is Andrew Scott. Thank you.
So the joke was, I know why they called you C. Was it C?
Yeah. Yes.
But I laughed before they said it, and they spoiled the joke. But they said, what was it? Careless, didn't they?
They said careless. They
when it should have been
up the punchline. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It should have been, you know what?
Cunt. It should have been cunt.
Peacock in the chat felt Spectre was but loved the fight scene between Dave Bautista and Craig.
That was brutal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Craig busted Dave Bautista's nose.
Yeah. He did, yeah.
Man, I love Dave Bautista. I forgot he was
Can you
in Spectre.
imagine? It just, oh my God.
He goes,
Ray Fiennes is sitting there and he just holds the chips or whatever he's gotten, proving that C is wrong. Oh, have you seen In Bruges? Like, Ray Fiennes is a villain. Swearing is amazing. I would have loved the C word.
Yeah, but the thing is that they should have just left it at that. He should have just said, "Now I know what C stands for," and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Instead of adding "careless," that spoiled the whole joke. It spoiled it totally.
Oh, even leaving it blank.
Agreed.
Absolutely, yeah.
they
But
should
anyway,
have just
so what is this sex doll emporium?
Madam Tussauds.
What a lucky bunch of actors though to be part of this legacy.
I know.
Madam Tussauds.
That
a
role.
one-to-one
really
action figure.
Special in my mind. That's really special.
Yeah.
Hot Toys. One to
Agreed,
one.
Keith. Agreed.
Out of all of them, which one? If you could buy one and just stick it in the corner.
Brosnan looks spot on.
No, I'm still taking Dalton.
But then again, look at Moore, spot on.
You know what? The Daniel Craig one
Take
looks
the Roger
good. I like the
Moore.
hand in the pocket. Maybe the Brosnan. These are all good, but that's not my favorite Brosnan hair. Anyway, let's stop objectifying men.
Oh, what have they done to Roger Moore's hair?
Yeah, I mean it is kind of messed up, but I mean, come on,
It
it's
is,
Roger
isn't it?
Moore.
No,
Yeah.
but you know the fun part is that that's his actual hair. He donated it to this exhibit.
Medical research. So I think we've kind of covered that. I said we will do the Bonds for the first hour, 2 hours in.
Before we move into the movie, because we're on Daniel Craig era, I just have to say Skyfall is top of the list for my most hated Bond themes.
Oh God, yes.
Really? Oh yeah.
Wow.
I absolutely hate it. Number one
I'm not a big Adele
Controversial.
fan.
is View to a Kill by Duran Duran for me, but I'd also like to
Yes!
hear what your guys are.
No, mine too.
No, the Madonna
high five
one.
3PO.
No, well, nobody does it better. That's my.
Yeah, I'll
my
agree with that one. It's
all-time.
Least
fantastic.
favorite?
Oh no, my favorite. It's my.
Oh
Favorite.
yeah, me too. Me too. Second favorite.
My
Sorry.
favorite is View to a Kill.
To Kill. My name is Bond. Simon LeBlanc. That's what he said, didn't he, in the video?
Doing.
Yes, he did. So dumb.
He said that in the video.
Oh my gosh, that's too cute.
Right, okay. Yeah, 2 hours. Can you believe it? Jesus. We've got the film review to go.
We
yet.
got a
Wow.
movie,
All right, film
though.
review
Whoa.
in 30 minutes.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
I will say, if anybody wants to go to the toilet, now's your time.
Yeah, I'll be
Ian?
back in a sec.
Oh, Reni. Eat a
Scotty.
bag of dicks.
Rennie, you know I got to poo.
Sorry, Brian isn't here to do the review for you.
Oh, dear.
I'll just say, PCAT's in the chat. Love Live and Let Die theme. Yes, great theme. But the
It is.
movie is my least favourite Moore movie. Live and Let Die theme is one of the longest, shortest songs you will ever hear. I think
Yeah.
it was 2.5 minutes, but it always
a good
seems
song.
longer.
Oh, it's a good.
It really does.
Okay, on 150 then, so we'll move on. So, blurb. I'll do this quick. Casino Royale, 2006, directed by Martin Campbell. Writing credits: Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, Paul Haggis. Original novel: Ian Fleming. Music: David Arnold. Starring Daniel Craig, Eva Green, Mads Mikkelsen, Judi Dench, Jeffrey Wright, Giancarlo Giannani. Is it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Giancarlo.
Mathis was
Mathis.
excellent. Yeah. Budget $150 million, gross worldwide $616 million, give or take a few $1,000. Runtime, this is 2 hours 24.
And it goes by like
Still-
that.
Yep.
Not when you're taking screen grabs.
Oh, yeah, true.
Who would like to start? Keith, would you like to start?
Bum, bada, bum, bum.
Sure. What do you want? Sorry. What do you want me to say?
What do you like Casino Royale? How do you feel about Casino Royale?
Hands down, yeah. No, I mean, I remember vividly seeing this and being beyond satisfied by the end of it. It started off great. I liked Martin Campbell's choice to start off with the black and white for the pre-credit sequence. I thought it was a great introduction to Daniel Craig's Bond there. And what I liked is, they subverted everything, but not in a way that didn't make it feel like a Bond film. Like, for example, David Arnold, whose music has been fantastic across he did the most of the Pierce Brosnan films, and he obviously did these first two. He said that Bond needed to earn the theme. So basically, they hinted at it all the way through the film, and they don't play it until the last line and the end credits. And choices like that were absolutely perfect, in my opinion. So Casino Royale is a near perfect movie. I absolutely
it is
love
pretty
it.
good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, as I just said. And what can I say? I really liked it, but I really didn't agree with the casting. But it's well paced, apart from the middle bit, which kind of sags a bit. And I didn't really like the climax. Yeah, I didn't like the climax in this film at all. When she locks herself in the lift, and Lord knows why. I'm trying to figure that one out myself. But and then she kills herself, which kind of scars James Bond for the rest of his career. It moves, and I love how the villain is not this villain that's in control of everything. He owes money to the mob, so he's desperate. He's desperate to get. I love that idea, because that's never been done. That's never been done. And I love the beginning bit where Craig shows he's really lethal, beats the guy up in the bathroom, and he turns
water closet.
Yes, but I love the circle when he turns around and he shoots him, because the guy's still alive, and he shoots in a circle with the blood and stuff, and it's full of a lot of original stuff. And it says it's a shame they didn't cast someone that was better, but saying that, it's still one of my favorite Craig Bonds.
You don't like short Jason Statham with hair?
No, I don't.
Jason Statham. Oh, Jason Statham.
No, but look
is
at
a
Daniel
great
Craig and
actor.
tell me
Massive
it's
fan.
not
Daniel Craig
short
is better
Jason.
looking than Jason Statham. I mean, come
All
on.
right. I don't know.
I do like the
You've clearly never seen Crank.
Sorry, I do like the nod to Raiders of the Lost Ark in this film, though, and I think Keith knows what I'm talking about.
Love
the
Crank.
nod to Raiders of the Lost Ark in Casino Royale. Keith,
Which one?
I'm trying to
airport
think what that
scene.
is.
The airport scene. We have to fight the guy in the.
Oh,
in the
Branson, wasn't it?
Yeah, he swings in through the windscreen and
he hangs off the
right
door.
there.
And all that.
Yeah,
It's
that's a good call.
definitely like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sorry, I'll stop now. Carry on.
Rob, Casino Royale.
Absolutely loved it. Yes, it's went to the cinema to see it with the missus. Absolutely blown away from the first scene onwards. It was a harder, grittier, darker James Bond than I was used to, and it like it'd been updated. Gone away with the silly gadgetry and the super-powered invisible cars, and it was a more down-to-earth, realistic James Bond from a spy perspective, and I was really taken with it right the way through, even despite the boring middle bit. It is one of the.
It was a bit loose, yeah.
One of the best James Bond films out of the entire franchise, in my opinion, not just out of the Craig films, but out of all of the Bond films.
High praise indeed.
Scotty.
Never seen it.
What?
I
Moving
didn't like. Yeah,
Stream
move
killer.
on.
He's joking.
Of course, I'm joking. Casino Royale is absolutely in top five category of James Bond film. That is one that I watch. The parkour sequence is amazing. Everything like the crane jumping. I like the poker scene, and it just, I don't know. It's because I worked in sports bars for a while, and in the afternoons they had Texas Hold'em on the TVs. So I was like, okay, let's see James Bond do this. That's great. But again, if I had a choice, I would watch the original Barry Nelson to learn about Baccarat. That is better than the poker scene. So I agree. And I really think that it is one of the best adaptations of novel to screen, except for the poker thing, ever. So everything about this movie as a James Bond movie is amazing. And I'm fine with him, James Bond being played by Daniel Craig, because at this point he wasn't the gentleman spy. We were seeing him being forged into being the gentleman spy, and when he showed up at the end and he was like, the name is Bond, James Bond, and it goes all the themes all over your face, neck, and chest, you're like, this was a James Bond movie, and it's amazing. And then the rest happened.
I will say the card scenes, the poker, when I watched it tonight on the computer, it's okay, but when I watched it at the cinema for the first time, I was just totally riveted. It's a great scene if you're watching it for the first time in the cinema. But if you're watching it on kind of like a rewatch, it's a bit long, but that's just me.
And that's why I recommend the Barry Nelson one, because it does explain Baccarat really well.
Reni?
Well, this was my introduction to Daniel Craig. And like I said, he's a grittier, more serious James Bond. Oh, it's a great one, especially the coming out of the ocean scene. But no, so I really liked it. And I will tell you, it's my second favorite Bond theme song from Chris Cornell. May he rest in peace. R.I.P. Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell died?
But my name is, he committed suicide, dude. It was pretty sad. And then Chester Bennington followed him.
But this is
not
a great
too
song.
long after.
But this is a great song.
It was a really great song. Really great for the times. I like the opening sequence, opening credits. I did think it was tragic that Vesper took the route that she took, but in all fairness, she deserved to pay for what she did to James Bond. And, even though it was sad, in my opinion, she had to die. I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for
Wow.
her.
Oh,
Yeah, no, she betrayed him.
oh,
She betrayed him.
And she
Wow.
atoned for her sins with her own life.
Yes, exactly. So you know what? That speaks volumes of her. But yeah, I just, James Bond has never been, a relationship kind of guy. That's just not who he is. That's not how we know him. And there had to be some sort of way to explain that, even though this seemed to be his great love, there's no way he could be with her forever. That's just not who he is. And
Or she.
James Bond is never a woman. 007 may be a woman, but James Bond is not a woman.
I'm saying Vesper wasn't who she claimed to be.
Well, yeah. But
And
anyways,
that's
I
the
don't
woman
remember what
who
I was
broke
saying.
James Bond's heart and belief in the world. And then he latched on to M, I suppose, if we are to believe the events of Skyfall. So.
Okay, I'm done.
stream killer.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
Okay,
I mean,
so
that's the only thing I didn't really like about the film was I felt that the romance between them just seemed a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah,
because I mean, we got introduced to this absolutely superb stone cold killer with an origin story, and he's out on his missions, blows a fucking embassy, parkour, fantastic, and then he bumps into Vesper, and he's like Doug from Up. I've only just met you, but I know that I love you.
Yeah.
Captain in the chat, we want James Bond smooth, suave, sophisticated, driving fast cars with fast women to expensive casinos for exotic meals and kinkiness.
Well, that's why she's called Vesper. She's fun to ride, but you don't want to introduce her to your mates.
I don't know. I mean, I agree that the romance seemed to be forced in this, and it wasn't enough to actually establish them in your mind, so to speak, as them as a couple. That bit where she was crying in the shower and he goes to her, it didn't work because there wasn't enough development between those two. It was just too fast for me, anyway. Just my opinion, of course.
Okay, shall we get a move on then and get through the stills, because there is a lot of them.
I can't wait.
On the 2 hour mark, fantastic.
Let's see a slideshow.
Apologise because the
slight detour. Just talk about our favourite Bonds.
I didn't have time to chop the stills down because there's a lot of them, so I do apologise. So, starts off with the opening credits in
Roar,
black and white.
Black and white.
MGM.
That kitty's still alive.
Yeah. Columbia again in black and white.
Well, this explains it. 7 minutes of credits.
Prague, Czech Republic.
I love this opening.
In
I think it was
black and
really
white.
good. Love it.
Beautifully shot. And I appreciate the black and white.
Yeah, lots of angles and
showing
perspective
history
and stuff. Really good.
It being an origin story for James Bond, showing it as a history.
He's very familiar. He's a British actor, right?
He is.
Anybody? He looks like he's done loads of adverts or something. He's got that very sort of commercial face. I don't know what he's been in though. I don't know what he's been in.
What was this guy's role in the film?
Man to die.
And I will tell you, Ian, he was in V for Vendetta. He was the guy that they asked for information, and he said, if you recall our records, he's like, I don't recall, but if you look at our records, that was the same guy. That's
Did he get killed?
I don't know. He had a really small role, but it was him. I was like, why does he look so familiar? So I had to look him up, but sorry to interrupt. I just had to tell you that.
I will just say to Time Profit, pictures are a bit iffy because of where I got the grabs from, if you know what I mean. Nothing to do with it being on a Mac. Okay, so they're in this meeting. Bond is in the corner there. He's not a 00 yet, is he?
No.
He has to have 2 kills to be a 00.
Yeah.
Which seems a bit low, don't you think?
Well, 00.
Well,
2 kills.
2 kills.
Yeah,
man.
but you only have to kill 2 people to get a license to kill people.
You got a license
find
to
out.
kill. Yeah.
I just thought they would have set the bar a bit higher.
Yeah.
Does the bloke say you're not an OO, you haven't got 2 kills, blah blah
Yeah,
blah?
that's
Or
it. Yeah,
what does it feel like to kill somebody? And then you get to this flashback with the guy's contact, and he's just twatting him in the WC, isn't he?
He is indeed.
Yeah.
And then the guy pulls the gun out.
No bullets.
Got your bullets, son.
It's very kind of film noir.
I love it. So, like,
Yeah,
for
but I
me,
love
it goes
yeah.
from pre-00 in black and white to 00 in color, and I think that's a really cool transition.
It
just sets the tone for the whole movie as well, which
Absolutely.
direction they're going with it. And you know that this is quite a different Bond from any other Bond that you've experienced.
But
Absolutely, and I loved it.
But also, I think that it informs the fact that because this is an origin story and it is history, the black and white and the directorial decisions make it so that it still jives with all the other James Bond movies that you've seen before. Just because this is an origin story doesn't mean that Sean Connery wasn't James Bond. This is just how Sean Connery became James Bond.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you have to reconcile that all of these different actors played it. And if it's an origin story, this is James Bond. And we've all accepted
I agree with you, but we kind of said that earlier. But yes,
well,
I
no,
agree.
but
I
as
agree.
we recap the movie frame
Yeah.
by frame, I just wanted to say it. Sorry.
I'll never apologise. So we're back into the flashback of the contact getting his. I think did the bloke say? Did he? How did he die? And he goes badly.
Not well.
Yeah.
Not well.
Not well.
With his just basically drowning him in the sink, isn't he?
Well, he's just wanted him to have a drink. That's all. That's why he's shoving his face
Water?
in the
What a
sink.
waste
It
of a
would have been
last
funny
drink.
if he said, "You look thirsty," but
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Reni, but that's a good point. Is that these we're getting the introduction of the intensity Bond. How did the first guy die? Not well.
Time Prophet in the chat. So why is it black and white when Sean Connery starts off in colour?
It's because of
yes, but
Oz.
this was pre-Sean Connery Time Prophet.
It's just an artistic take, that's all. It's got
Arty-farty,
nothing, it's got nothing to do with
looks-
anything.
It looks beautiful on the Bluray, by the way.
It does.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh my
Show it
gosh,
on
yes,
film.
Keith.
It really picks out the film stock grain. And
Mhm.
it looks amazing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
might have to pick that up. I've only got it on DVD.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's
get the
worth the
Blu-ray.
upgrade. Check out my review on the channel. It's worth an upgrade.
I most
Absolutely.
certainly will.
Keith, what is your channel for everybody at home?
Oh, sorry, it's shameless plug here, but yeah, it's
Yeah, go for it.
Home Media Minefield on YouTube, and I've just done a 4-episode arc which looks at the home media releases of the Daniel Craig films, and it
Wow.
compares the 4K, the DVDs, and the Blu-rays, and it goes over all the special features on each. So yeah, please check it out. I put a lot of work into it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tomorrow I'll put a link to your channel in the description, so when people
Absolute
watch this
star.
on
Thank
the
you.
rerun, they can check your channel out.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
so
That would be
It
amazing.
is a good channel, guys. You should
it is,
definitely tune
boys
in.
and girls.
Yep.
Agreed.
Definitely.
So Craig gets the gun out and bang. And what does he say?
Considerably.
Yes.
Considerably. Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
With a
flash.
smug little smirk.
And then we
It's
go
good.
to-
It's a good start. It's a really good start.
It's a great start.
Yeah.
And Daniel Simon's credit sequence is superb as well. I just think he did a really good job with this.
Yeah. did.
The vice president of the channel, not Brian Young, has put a link in the chat.
And I will go and do my
Brian!
due diligence and share the shit out of that.
It's a good channel.
But yeah,
It's a
no,
good
that's
channel.
an amazing, like the opening credit sequence to Casino Royale is one of the best. I love the song. I love the guns with all the different suits.
But isn't
Yeah.
sorry, it's just to interrupt. Isn't this the time when they took the girls out of the It was, yes.
Was yeah.
Keith?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
All right.
was, but it was also
was
time
less
to
silhouette of naked
reintroduce.
women.
All right.
But
Sorry,
it still
sorry.
worked really well because it's all
Yeah.
about gambling and killing. So it
Right.
worked really, really, really well.
I mean, they
Yeah.
kind of had an image of Vesper in the credits, but it was like
Yes.
on like one of the
Very, very
Queen
brief.
cards
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they do a really nice transition where you get two targets and it shoots a hole in the 7 of hearts, holes, and it ends up saying 007. I just think that's really cool.
I would say watching this in 2006 in the cinema for the first time, I just thought, fuck, this is good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Already by this point.
Fuck, this is good. I'm in. I'm in.
Is it as good as when Roger Moore pushes those Russian girls down in the beginning? Do you remember that? Spy Love Me. Spy Love Me.
Well, I wasn't at the cinema for that, so so we get the black and white opening sequence, then we get the kind of black and white homage to the gun barrel.
Homage. Yep.
And then we get this amazing CGI
That gun
card.
barrel scene was like perfect.
The music was really good as well.
Yeah, it
I
was.
love it. I love Chris
I just
Cornell's
thought-
song.
I just thought, fuck, this is so good. Ba-da, ba-da.
They never talk about this theme when they talk about great themes from Bonds. I think this was one of the good ones in my opinion. I really liked it. Yeah.
Dude,
Not
and
Brian.
it was sung by like a lead singer of a metal band. How
Oh,
awesome
yes.
is that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
seriously.
Brian.
Brian Young is being awesome. Thank you, Brian.
He's the vice president of the channel. Yes.
All right, that's really kind of him. Thank you.
Fucking
I subscribed.
Yes, thank you. Stevie. I can see you did. Yeah, thank you.
Captain in the chat. Honestly, Captain, you couldn't fucking write it, could you? Hey, guess what? Critical Drinker is talking about right now. Bond.
Is he?
James Bond?
He just copies all our material from this channel. But
Well, no, there's a new James Bond movie coming out.
Well, I'm pretty sure if it's the
everyone's doing
opening weekend, he's gonna cover it, dude. I mean, come on.
we could.
Well, how do you
Tell him
feel
to
about
go away now.
How do you feel about
Spoilers.
spoilers? How do you feel about spoilers for the new James Bond?
No.
We're not going to do no spoilers.
No.
No. I was
no.
asking you how you felt about them. Okay, I got the.
Uh,
no. I don't
Shut up,
know
Leslie.
anything about it. No, I
Shut
won't
up,
shut up.
Leslie.
I'm not looking for them. I don't want them. I can't wait to see the movie, and then I'll decide.
Oh.
I rewatched the movie yesterday, and one thing I noticed about the opening sequence is it kind of
Don't say it.
No. The
Royale.
sequence of Casino Royale.
Right.
James Bond is shown as a silhouette who's defeating lots of other bad guys,
Yeah.
and you only get to see Daniel Craig's face at the end, which I think represents the last of his humanity before becoming a 00 agent.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I like
yeah,
that
I like
take.
it.
Very nice.
Good
But
take.
because all the other times he's as a silhouette and he's killing people.
Yeah.
But
It's such a great opening credit sequence.
It is. There's so much that you can read into it.
Yeah.
Sklavko in the chat. This channel is toxic. Makes drinker like it.
Toxic.
It is. It is toxic.
They all come here to steer our ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
will say-
Soundgarden is not a metal band.
Black Hole
That is
Sun.
true.
What a song.
I have to agree to disagree with you as a Soundgarden fan, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I'm not saying Soundgarden is bad. I'm just saying it's not a metal band.
It kind of is.
Okay, you're the
Moving on.
doc.
Okay. So I got a still of the Chris Cornell.
Dun, 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 dun.
David
Brilliant.
Arnold as well is
Yeah.
such a great composer. David Arnold.
Absolutely.
One of the most
Absolutely.
underrated James Bond
Yeah.
themes.
He-
Yes.
After John Barry, he's out of all the Bond composers, I'd say, John Barry is obviously king when it comes to Bond, but I
Yeah.
would say David Arnold is a close second. He's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So
Fantastic.
we start off in Mbale, Uganda, with a warlord
It was a rainy day in Africa.
Mr. White. Mr. White.
Listen
Yeah.
to me. Remember that bit?
Yeah.
Listen to me.
It's so weird.
Hey, you know what?
That's a
My
weird
boss
line.
sounds like that right now. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe my boss is African.
Lashif.
Again, fantastic actor
Yes.
and great,
Yeah.
great performance.
Great before.
I will say when I was doing the stills tonight, I have not watched Casino Royale for a long time, and there is a lot going on, isn't there?
Yes.
Especially when you're
Yeah.
trying to work out the plot. But this kind of the plot is this guy is amazing at cards, and he uses people's money to kind of bet against the markets, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
know. Anything that Mads Mikkelsen does isn't ever really bad.
he was
He's a
gonna-
great actor. Weird to look at,
Agreed.
but just so great in everything he does.
So
But LeSchifer's plan is very much about, because of after stock market things happened.
yeah, it's to do with stock markets and stuff, isn't
9/11.
it? Yeah.
And then now, if he blows up a plane,
Yes.
then he's gonna he's betting for or against.
It
the
was
plane
it
that he
against
wants
it was
to blow
against
up.
the market, wasn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's his plan. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's a
My
lot to
only-
take
my
in
only
because I was
problem here-
working it out, but yes, correct.
Well, on
Like
the
before
introduction-
James Bond gets involved, this guy just
Yeah.
wants to blow up a plane,
A plane.
To make more money.
and he's gonna make money off of it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be dope, yo.
Yeah. Rob?
Yeah,
Let me hold
I
your
mean,
money. It'll be great.
Lashif, isn't that like the French for the number?
I,
He's clearly not French.
Top trivia.
He's yeah, it's true.
It
I
seems
guess.
like a bit of
Isn't
a
he like
bit of a
Swedish or
silly-
Norwegian?
They
something?
said something, didn't they? And I can't remember from where he is, but yeah.
he's an asthmatic.
He bleeds.
bleeding
His eyes
eyeball.
bleed.
Dodgy tear duct.
Yeah.
That's unattractive.
So there's the money that he's going to invest in the plane getting blown up and the stock market or the stocks crashing. And then we go to Madagascar.
Stop touching your ear. Yeah,
I'm
that
glad you said it
Touch
first.
your ear.
bit. Yeah. Yeah. I love this scene. It's a great scene.
What's the name of the guy who touches his ear?
Carter.
Double O
Carter.
stupid. Double O
I think
Double O
stupid.
stupid. So does he die?
I don't know
Yeah,
because
he
he
falls
falls.
on the
I
snake.
implied it.
Yeah.
He does
I
fall
don't-
in the snake pit. Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you get to see him get bit though, but he certainly falls in front of the cobra.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah,
way,
I
he
just assume
retired.
he dies of a snake bite.
Okay,
I mean,
fair enough.
this was hilarious for me
Or
because
a
they
monkey,
point out
there
that
you go.
one thing that
Yeah.
they do in all spy movies is everyone with a communication device presses their ear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, he kind of highlighted that and remarked on how fucking stupid it is that people do that in movies.
He says it
I
again
do it in
Skyfall.
real life.
Hot
Switch it on
off-
first.
Yeah, hot off the press, Captain says now Critical Drinker is announcing a new feature on his show, Emergency Battle Wank.
Oh,
Oh, come
dear.
on. No, he's not. Get out of here, Cockney.
But he's look at how he stands out of all those people touching his ear. What a bloody idiot! Double O twit. Yeah.
Twat.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to be nice.
This, the guy with the bomb, the parkour expert, fucking hell, he was awesome.
Sebastian Foucan. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough
He's
to
like
meet
Spider-Man.
this guy, and he is an absolutely lovely individual. He
Yeah.
is
When you
really
caught up with him, innit, Keith? Because he was running away from
Yeah,
you.
I couldn't catch him. I tried, but yeah, he is remarkable.
I will say to Captain, Captain, how many is watching Critical Drinker at the moment? Let us know,
Who
please.
cares?
Yeah, who cares?
I
love
was
Critical
busy
Drinker.
talking to you. I can't even go over there right now.
I care because he's an up and coming channel.
Who, that
Yeah.
critical
Dude, he's
drinker?
almost
He,
got a
Yeah.
million subscribers.
he's got some good years ahead of him if he keeps on
Okay.
plugging.
So,
Yeah.
big chase, lots of running, chasing, and cars and stuff starts happening.
Great
Ooh.
stuff. Great soundtrack as well to this bit.
Oh,
The music
great.
that David Arnold. I've actually got the soundtrack and it's terrific. Absolutely terrific. Even without the pictures, it's really good. So
I
Ooh,
just
this is a
recently
scene
got
I
a
like coming up.
job where I get to ride a forklift for the first time, and honestly, I do. When I get on a forklift, I act like I am James Bond on a forklift. I just know what I'm doing.
Look at that bad
Good for
stuntman
you.
for Craig there. The bad wig.
Yeah.
Bad wig on his head. Yeah.
Could have CGI'd his
Yeah,
hair
but
right.
oh, come
Mm.
on. If you're going
Come
to, this
on.
is the time that you're going to criticize the toupees of James Bond movies.
No, look, Roger Moore was the class of his own. He had
Everyone's a
great stuntmen. He had great stuntmen.
So they climb up the big crane, and
I like that. Yeah.
no bullets. So he throws
Catch
the
the
gun at
gun,
him and
throw
then
it
throws
back
it back. Yeah.
And then they wound up
Nice.
just throwing the gun, and yeah, that's fun.
I love that sequence where he goes through the little hole and James Bond just smashes through the wall.
Yes.
That was a good scene.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I was going to take a screen grab of that, but I thought I'd have
Mm.
to rewind it.
I almost feel like
I was gonna get a screen grab of that, but I decided, fuck it.
I almost feel
Time
like
was
audio
pressing.
commentary here for the film.
Fucking hell, time was pressing. I thought, I'm not going to get these done.
Mm.
Because I spent all day messing with the graphics for the background, which nobody can see. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the Nambutu embassy.
Nambutu.
I love this scene. Listen to me. Yes.
No, but seriously, that's what my boss sounds like.
And he jumps on the what is he jumps on the crate or something like that to go over the wall. That was a good bit as well. Do you remember? Yeah.
So he breaks into the embassy. Is it I think it's an embassy.
Yeah, it's an embassy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All hell breaks loose.
And he slams that guy's head into a busk, doesn't he, on the desk?
Yeah.
That was a bit rough, wasn't it? Bit rough.
Yeah, but it was an awesome scene.
There it was.
This
There
thug
was.
was performing thuggery.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the bit. Listen to me. What did he say?
Yeah.
You almost sounded just like him, Ian.
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If I may, it's kind of interesting that this is the only part of the movie up until this point that it feels like a James Bond movie, because there is sort of an army against James Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of falling into the tropes of a James Bond movie, just an observation. I have no conclusion.
This scene is so full of energy, though, from Craig to all the stunt people to the camera work. It's a really well shot scene. This scene, so.
Oh, it's great. It's a great action sequence, and it establishes Bond's recklessness at this point. Which, like later on, we'll see M responding to this.
Yeah. And not 5 minutes earlier, he specifically stated, "We need him
Don't
alive.
kill him.
Don't kill him. We need him alive." And then, fuck this shit.
And then he shoots him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But he'd got ellipsis by this point.
Yes. This is the first breadcrumb.
And you know, he should have cleaned up after him. He blew up the whole place and just ran off.
Yeah, so he found the bomb in the
front page
bag.
of newspapers.
What was the guy going to blow up? Do we know?
I don't know.
Maybe an airplane. We don't know.
Right.
Yeah, probably.
It
I
might
think
have
it
been
was.
that big, like jumbo jet that. Remember, whenever he goes to the museum,
right?
Yeah.
And that was a model. Would you believe? It looks so real.
So there
it
you go.
looked really real. They did a good job with that.
Classic Nokia.
Oh, they're advertising Nokia in the latest one as well, aren't they?
That's what really dates the film, isn't it? Is the mobile phones really date it? Yeah.
Oh, everyone wants the tie-in, and like I think it was Motorola in the Brosnan years, and
That's right.
they would all fight to get their brand on screen.
Yeah, well, the reason it's Sony Ericsson in these ones is because obviously Sony owned the franchise, so they're all on like Veo computers and Sony phones and all of that stuff.
Well, they can easily put CGI and put a smartphone in his hand here, can't they? If they really wanted to.
So, sorry, Mr. Brown, can you put that chat back up for a sec? Dalek451 says, again, this film was just a generic, boring action film, not a James Bond film. I would like to respond to that statement by saying I can understand if you think that Casino Royale looks like a book. Like if you think that it is bland or generic or whatever, that's cool. I get that. But it is exactly as depicted in the novel with some alteration. So when I say exactly, not literally.
Contemporized. Yeah.
Yes, contemporized.
And
so
and more action pieces put in, more set
I
pieces.
wouldn't say it's boring, but I watched, oh my God, what's that movie with Tom Cruise, or not Tom Hanks, and he has long hair and he's looking for Jesus stuff?
Oh gosh, is that the one where he gets like Castaway, right?
No, not Castaway.
No?
Weird.
No, you're talking about the
Forrest
Dan
Gump.
Brown.
In that one.
You're talking
No.
about the Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci
So,
box.
Oh man,
yeah.
the book was so much better.
Like when I watched the Da Vinci Code, I sat there and I watched it because I knew it was a book and I didn't want to read the book. So I watched the movie and I turned to the person who actually owned the movie and I said, this movie looks like a book.
I've just noticed also the baddies have Nokias in this film and the goodies have Sony Ericsson.
That makes sense. How many have
Didn't get to
Heinekens?
that.
Oh yeah, I did see a few Heineken as well.
All right.
I saw some heinies.
Okay, so we go to
Meanwhile,
Lashid's
Cheech Marin.
boat and he's playing cards, isn't he? With the general.
Mhm.
He is.
Yes.
And then his henchman says something to him that the mission's been fucked or something. I don't know.
Oh, and
Yeah,
that lady
compromised.
on the
Compromised,
that lady
yeah.
on the left.
Thank you, Keith.
Is actually is it this lady on the left who was in a previous? She was in You Only Live Twice.
Hmm.
Oh right, cool.
Top trivia.
Only live twice. Yeah. that one.
Oh, so they say.
Oh, actually, someone pointed out as well. I and corrected me. I was mistaken. Yeah, of course, Charles Gray was in You Only Live Twice, not Thunderball, before he played Blofeld in Diamonds Are Forever. I can't remember who set that up, but somebody.
Oh my stars! What was his name? Henderson.
Henderson. That's it. Yeah.
He had that voice, didn't he? Hello, Mr. Bond. Would you like to see you? Yeah, he had that kind of voice, didn't he?
He
Oh,
had a
yeah.
false leg. He got beat in the leg, and he's like, "Thank heavens you chose the right one."
So
Yeah.
now I think are we? Where are we? Where's the location of this? We're not back at.
Oh, Bond just did a whole bunch of bullshit and soured his boss and made
Yeah.
international news.
So British government agent kills unarmed prisoner with a nice Bravia TV advertisement
Yeah.
in the corner.
There you go.
I
yeah.
want a Vio.
Listen to me. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah, because Bond is Bond on M's computer.
Yeah,
Very
she doesn't
gay.
like that, does she?
No,
Yeah.
he breaks into a apartment.
That's right.
Basically,
At the top of the building.
Just about to mention her real name, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
utter another syllable and I have you executed.
Yeah, that's what
Emma.
she said, yeah.
Her name is Emma.
I hope it gets Emma somehow.
No, that's what Matey says in Skyfall, isn't it?
Kincaid.
Um,
Kincaid, yeah.
Obviously, Judi Dench had been in the previous films. Why do you think she came back?
Because she's offered money?
Well, yeah, obviously.
I
Well,
think
why do you-
For
why do you
continuity?
I was going to say, I honestly think the answer to that is they realized they were taking quite a sort of bold risk by having this reboot.
Yeah.
And they wanted something familiar that worked well from the previous ones. And let's be honest, Judi Dench is wonderful. And, she's a national treasure, isn't she? So I think she was kind of there as a bit of a lucky charm, really, to ease this new reboot in. So it was more of a soft reboot and not too jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my view on it anyway.
Because she's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
You should know that like I'm Canadian, and
are
we
you?
slowly phased out the Queen, and now Judi Dench is on all of our
Yay!
money.
I love it.
Judi Dench is the queen.
So absolutely, and
But
I
is
really
she woke?
appreciate the bracketing of the Pierce Brosnan era to the Daniel Craig era with M and Judi Dench, and I think that it maintains the tradition of James Bond. There is something about the sanctity of it and the crossing over of, like, how many Desmond Llewellyn how many James Bonds have Desmond Llewellyn dealt with? And we've discussed it. 4?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
So-
5, wasn't it?
Okay.
Craig was the 6th. So yeah.
And so
5.
I appreciate that Judi Dench was M for Pierce Brosnan, which was an incorporation of a new sort of I don't know, era of Judi Dench is a national treasure. And so, you know what? Just an agreement hug on this end. Yes, Judi Dench, huzzah.
It's your queen, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, she's on our money.
Captain in the chat. I think this one's for you, Ian. Can you read it?
Yeah. Hold on.
Have you got glasses?
Actors tend. Oh, very funny. Actors tend to prefer getting paid. They like money. Cough. Rebecca Gold. Oh, very, very droll. Very droll.
Rebecca
Okay.
Black. Friday, gotta get down on Friday. No, but if you haven't seen Rebecca Gold,
It's very good. Okay.
It
so,
is.
Judi Dench is playing Rebecca in the next one.
he can't do those stunts. I don't think she could pull it off.
I triple dog
My-
dare you
my-
to hire Judi Dench.
my avatar is from Rebecca Gold.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, of course.
yeah.
I would love to see her play Rebecca Gold.
So this is where
I'm
M
really
is giving.
rooting for a Janine Garofalo Rebecca Gold.
This is where M is just basically just bollocking 007.
Yeah.
And then he goes, M, about her real name. And then she goes, I'll have you executed, blah, blah, blah. So then we go to
Meanwhile, in
Bahamas,
Morocco.
yay!
Oh, the Bahamas, yay!
Good stuff.
Oh my God. This is what James Bond movies are all about. Exotic locations and being like looking on screen and feeling warm.
Feeling warm. Well,
yeah, it's a nice fuzzy feeling, yeah.
James Bond.
Here we go. So Sony Ericsson.
Sony
with
Ericsson.
amazing on-screen graphics, which we didn't have with the phones, but there you go.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah, but his was special.
The magic
If
of
I'm-
cinema. Go on, Scotty.
so if you are a James Bond fan, watch Mad Men. It's James Bond without guns. Moving on.
But by the way, Ian, that
Hmm.
phone is the one that I used in Cross Lines on purpose because
Right, because of the Bond thing. Very good. Cool.
From
Here's a Honda Civic.
From one product placement to the next. The brand
Yeah.
new Ford
What is this?
Mondeo.
Oh, it's the Ford Mondeo. I'm not a car.
Yeah, I didn't get the point of
2006
putting
model.
Ford in there, but yeah, product placement.
Paying. That's
Look
why.
at those. Look at those roofs. Those are great.
I think because I think the car was the new model out that year. So what better advertisement?
right.
Stick it in
Yeah.
a Bond
Yeah,
film.
but that model wasn't even popular in the US, dude.
Over here it
Really
was.
so much-
it was
Oh,
a
but-
bit of the, it was a bit of the subversion as well.
Hey, a Canadian
Yes.
flag.
I've had
This
two
is
Mondeos.
Gross.
Guilty pleasure.
Is this where he wins his car or something, isn't it? As I recall.
Okay,
He's Tiny
question.
Shoelace, isn't he?
Is the guy on the right,
Germans.
is that Goldfinger?
Yes. He's wearing the same hat as Goldfinger when he was in Goldfinger.
And then the German goes, boy, park my car.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so he goes and smashes it.
More product placement, obviously, Range Rover.
More Canadian
Yep.
flag.
And then boom, have that.
There you go, license plate.
Smack it into the railings so all the alarms go off.
What kind of car is that?
And then
Looks like a
while
cardboard box.
everybody's going to see, including the security, what's going on, Bond is nipping in the surveillance room.
That's a great shirt.
He's really beefed up here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
No,
yes.
dude worked out. That guy lifts.
Yeah. Then he's going through all the records that kind of correspond to is it the phone call records, something on the phone?
Hey, look,
Yes.
Goldfinger.
Nice Aston.
Yeah, he looks at that on a Sony Blu-ray recorder, by the way.
More product placements.
Yeah.
This is where he says, I scratched somebody's Aston. I've really conscious about it. I really want to do the right thing. So the girl tells
1964 Aston Martin DB5.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently these cars are like $4 million
Ah.
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're not cheap.
no.
So then we go. I think she says it's something to do with he's on the beach, room by the beach, something, and then we go to a beach scene with the girlfriend.
I don't want to be genderly
There you go, Reni.
discriminatory, but that young lady was riding a horse
Oh.
like a man.
Do you know what? The best thing about this scene is that when James Bond gets information out of her, he doesn't sleep with her. He just runs off.
He
He
just
makes
No,
buys
he
her
wraps
some
up a
Bollinger.
tab for
Yeah.
caviar and champagne for two,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
takes
No,
off.
for one.
But yeah, if I
Agreed.
may,
You may
I would
go
just
for
like
it.
to say, great shot, Mr. Brown. Just gonna say that.
Oh, I've masturbated
God, I'm
twice.
offended. I'm offended.
Well, there's a little known fact
Female
about
stuff
that
in there.
scene. Little known fact about that scene is that basically they stuck his head on my body, so they
Oh, come on.
hide me to go. They hide me to go out there.
on,
You
Ian.
have the right body for the scene.
And also, in terms of the casting of James Bond, it was this scene that was taken by paparazzi that promoted him as being like, okay, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a
Hunky
chance.
Yeah,
He's pretty tasty. Yeah, I get it.
pretty tasty. Excellent.
Rob, do you like that?
Oh, I do, and a great homage, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy, Reni.
No, it's fine. 5 times.
Easy.
It's like one of the
And
few scenes
meanwhile,
that I
here's a
get.
lady with a
Usually they
horse.
Focus on the women, so it's nice to see some
You enjoy the
manly men.
objectification
Man
of
action.
Yeah, just saying.
There's room for both. There's room for both.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Here we go. Here we go. Bloody hell.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
The
Lashif's passport has been
Lashifa.
denied.
Albania, Bosnia, Croatia, Africa, South America.
United States, Canada. Never mind.
That is all.
So when all else fails, play some cards to try and find out what is that guy called? I can't remember his name. The one there.
I don't know. He's an asshole.
Is it Dominic?
It might be.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
It's Dominic.
Dimitri.
Fuck Dominic.
Demetrius.
Demetrius.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that guy. So
Playing
anyway,
cards.
yes.
This is our introduction to
Stereoterry.
cards.
Bullets.
Aces.
Wins the card.
Dimitri's not having a good night
Yeah.
Well,
He's
no,
lost
Bye,
his-
my Aston Martin.
because he loses
Yeah.
all his money and the car. That's a
he
nice car.
does.
Oh, and his lady. And his
And his
lady.
lady, yes. His lady's there.
Lady
Okay,
that rides
so
back.
right now we got
really,
some pretty
really good hand, isn't it?
Mm.
well getting
Getting it
double
on.
aces. Well, yeah, I suppose.
And then he finds out that he's getting the last flight to Miami. Doesn't
Yeah.
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 And he basically Bond says he rings for room service and then departs.
Yep. Leaves her high and dry.
Yeah.
Wait,
Mm.
can
With
you just go back to that slide for 1 second?
Careful.
So I will be, but I'm saying that this is a fiction. This is just something that two people have performed. Like, you know what? What a great job.
Yeah.
For him, yeah.
And she's doing a great job.
Mm. Yeah, she is definitely.
Moving on.
Acting.
Yes, exactly. I've heard that.
So we are going to Miami.
The place they didn't shoot in Miami, did they, Keith? Is that true?
I don't know. Sure.
Don't know because the airport they doubled something for the airport, as I recall, and they weren't really Miami.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So in Miami airport, there's this big exhibition with the guy who was doing all the human. He took the skin off, didn't he, and preserved all these people at the time. I forget what his name was. Was he German? He did kind of.
Kind of toured throughout the world, and I'm like, I'm not going to go see that. That's gross. Yeah. I don't want to see cadavers.
Oh,
they had that over here.
I bought 2 of them.
No, they had the exhibition over here, as I recall. That exhibition in London. They had it in London, yeah.
But also, it's kind of reminiscent of Man with the Golden Gun in terms of the menagerie of murder that is going on. And so I thought it was kind of cool that he killed a guy in the midst of dead people.
Yeah.
With a knife.
Well, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, what? Just a hug of agreement.
Yeah, because the guy got the knife out because he rumbled him, didn't he? And then he got the knife out, and there was like this tussle.
Yeah, they wrestle with it, and it is a matter of strength.
And then bang, have that.
But by the way, I just looked that up, Ian, because you asked about it, and yes, they used the Prague in the Czech Republic doubles for Miami.
Oh right, okay. I knew it was in the it might have been in the commentary, I think.
Maybe one of the commentaries mentioned that.
Time Prophet in the chat. Bond doesn't have to wear a condom because they die before they get pregnant.
You've clearly never seen James Bond Jr. The animated series from the 1990s. It's
brutal.
Terrible. He has a wallet.
So there was there a key or something on the chips, and they've gone?
Yeah, something like that.
That's right. Yeah, it was the key to the locker, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the guy's gone
with the bag.
Branson there.
Yeah.
I think they had some of his Virgin Planes product placement as well.
And apparently they when it was played on different planes, like different airliners, they cut they would cut the Richard Branson thing. Although I can't imagine playing Casino Royale on an airplane. It's kind of like watching Die Hard 2 on an airplane.
Yeah.
Or one of the airport films on a plane.
Exactly. Executive decision on a plane.
Yeah, that'd be
underrated movie
on a plane.
Okay. Executive decision.
Yeah.
And then this creepy guy shows up.
He changes his uniform, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well, that's what's in the bag. Yeah, the bag that he got's the security uniform.
And then he sets off the sprinkler system.
He's going to blow up the plane.
Yeah, because he knows he's being chased, doesn't he?
That is a model, and it's pretty impressive.
It is.
I think the people were comped in after they lit the model. It looks really, really realistic. Yes, all the people are not there.
So it is a model.
Yeah, it's a model.
I thought I've never seen a plane like that.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? Huge.
No, it's not. It's a model.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I thought it was a genuine plane. Wow.
So did I when I first saw the film. And then after reading up about it, it was a model and they just comped the people in. So, yeah.
It's a salute back to like the great Derek Medding's work. In
Absolutely.
Some of the earlier films. Yeah.
Captain or watching snakes on a plane. On a plane.
Nice.
I watched Snakes on a Plane on a Plane. No, I didn't.
But in Aeroplane, the movie, they were watching a plane getting blown up, weren't they? The movie.
Yes.
in the actual plane.
Yeah.
I think
Watch
that
the
was in
movie.
plane 2.
No, I think it's 1. Was it 1?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Either way.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay, so this kind of is it like it's a mini detonator thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really clever at the ending.
On
That was
a
really
key
cool.
ring.
Yeah, the guy thought he got away with it.
That's where the whole ellipsis thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was the code.
Yeah, because Bond rings the phone he's just recovered and sees the guy running into the crowd because he loses him, doesn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Martin Campbell did a really good job on this film.
Oh,
He
it's
really did. Yeah.
So Bond is chasing the baddie, or the guy who's going to blow the plane up. Lots of crash bang wallop.
There's a face in that shot. Can you see it?
I can.
2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Weird.
I see it. It looks like a wizard.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's weird. Anyway,
what a Rorschach test that was.
There's your Raiders.
There's your Raiders.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Great theme.
Yeah, it is. Really rough though, didn't they? They really did give each other a pounding.
But that's good. That's more hard-edged and realistic. I like it.
This wouldn't be a stream without bacon.
Oh God, bacon! Mr. Bacon's back.
Bacon.
I wonder if Reni's still alive. Oh, she's off. Actually, no. She's on mute. She's on mute. I don't know where she's gone.
What she's doing.
Sorry, guys. I put in the private chat. I'd be right back. I had to go tinkle.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's what she said.
Oh God.
You know,
it was after seeing Daniel in his trunks.
That's what she.
No, I drank the pizza gave me. I had for lunch gave me a sour tummy, so I had some ginger ale, but I drank it too fast. I'm like, oh, gotta go. So. And then
overstimulated with Daniel Craig.
Maybe. Can I please say hello to Chiron Beard in the chat? And
nope.
Yes, I do notice you there, and I love you, and thank you for stopping by. And also to Mayor McCheese. So
I will say it genuinely is not a stream without the bacon.
bacons.
Yeah.
Bring in the bacon.
Bacon.
So this scene is a brilliant scene. I love this scene. It's full of action, full of edgy seat stuff. It's just it's a really, really great scene in my opinion. Really well directed as well. And they rest Bond at the ending, don't they? Because they think he's the bad guy.
Is that a model then?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But it looks really good, right?
It's a model.
It's cute.
Jeez.
The whales in Star Trek 4 in 1986 were models. This is impressive.
They were.
But
wow.
This kind of special effect has been in use for ages, and I credit Martin Campbell for using miniatures.
That's incredible.
It's a lost art form, isn't it? Really,
it is.
Too much reliance on CGI. A lot of people derides the series, but I actually like the reboot of Thunderbirds Are Go. They only used the characters with CGI. Everything else was practical models.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
You can, if you look carefully, you can see
effects.
it.
Sorry,
it really helps with pulling you into it.
Yeah, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Having that there instead of just some staged effect with they fixed it in post.
Yeah. I just quickly going back to Derek Meddings, the Moonraker launch, one of the space shuttles launching in the bay in the film. Considering it was 2 years before the real thing launched, the launch amazing. Absolutely stunning special effects.
It is
stunning.
It is. Derek Meddings was the king in those days. He knew exactly what he was doing, and I believe he used aerosol cans for the cloud to come out at the back of those things. So
nice.
Yeah. So he's really good at what he did.
Maybe we should do a Derek Meddings stream at some point.
Oh yeah.
We did a Ralph McQuarrie stream, didn't we? That was quite cool.
Maybe Derek Meddings then.
Yeah, be cool.
Okay, so we're all agreed. Amazing miniature work.
And great stunt work as well.
Yeah.
'cause there was
Absolutely.
a lot of stunt work.
Yes.
Were they
Um,
miniature stuntmen?
Yes, they were.
Now that would have
Yeah,
been
midgets.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
they
one of the
were
things
one
I
of
That's
like
a
about
specialist film.
this and really helps the first act move along is the editing on every single action scene is so very, very tight. And
Yeah, that's Stuart Baird for you again, a good editor.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He is very good editor.
and it
Not,
makes all the difference.
not very good at directing Star Trek though.
No,
Agreed, Mr. Brown.
yeah, he wasn't a Star Trek fan. and
Fuck
it
him.
should-
I like the smile he gives
Moving on.
when you hear
Well,
the
and I
pop.
really
Yeah.
and I appreciate this shot specifically of James
smug.
Bond is because he is smug, but he's beat up, and we are still seeing, like, again, I was going into this movie seeing the progression of the origin of, and so him being beat up a bit, and also I admire the way that he heals over the subsequent scenes.
Yeah, fast.
Well, of course, quickly, but he does. There is a progression of him somewhat healing. Anyway, let's watch this guy.
So
blow up.
the baddie thinks he's won. They're both looking at each other because Bond has just been arrested by all the police after saving from the truck going into the plane.
Right.
Obviously, fuel going everywhere.
For the money.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then it's like, fuck you, I've won.
And he finds it on his belt, and he's doomed. Just like all the people that come up against Bond.
Meanwhile,
And Lashif cries red.
Yeah.
And then I think Lashif finds out that his plane's not gone up. And
Yep.
he's
which is why he sets up the high stakes poker game.
he's in the
so
doo-doo.
it all works.
Yeah, he's in the doo-doo.
He didn't have to do that. He could have literally went and get a stocking on his head and try and rob a couple of banks, couldn't he?
Because,
Might have been easier.
I mean, yeah.
Does he say somebody squealed to Bond? So
Oh, they got rid of that really tasty bird.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
hey, be respectful.
Okay. A really good looking bird then. How's that? Such a shame.
by this time, M has turned up as well because obviously, yeah. Cause,
And they put a chip in his hand, don't they, or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
boom,
Ow.
there you go.
Yeah.
Didn't they do the same thing in another
Smart-
Bond film?
Smart
They
blood.
do in Skyfall. He gets
That's it.
the signature blood thing, but
Smart blood.
it's. I often wonder what happened to Villiers, which was M's assistant in this film, and obviously,
Oh yeah, we never saw him again. Yeah.
replaced with Bill Tanner in the subsequent films. But
Yeah.
yeah, I often wonder what happened to Villiers.
So we
Went
go
over to
the
nobody.
train scene, Montenegro.
Montenegro. Lovely. I love this scene.
This is a great scene.
He's so young there, isn't he? Old Craig.
38. He was the same age as the Bond character in the book.
Mm.
Craig has got 5 months on me.
How old
He's
is
got more than that
Daniel
on you,
Craig?
mate.
He's 53. I'm 53 in 2 weeks.
He's 10 years older than me? Holy shit.
Vespa.
Oh, Eva Green.
It was such a good back and forth between them when they first meet. I really liked the
Yes.
encounter that they had.
If I may, one of my exes, and I've only just realised this, spit an
Was
image
Eva
of
Green? Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't realise at the time. How stupid of me.
Mm.
Hello, Lisa, if you're watching.
Didn't she tell you she became an actress and she starred in a James Bond film?
Oh, don't depress me, for fuck's sake. Yeah, this is such a great scene with the kind of vocal tennis and the kind of mental tennis.
Mm.
Yeah, this whole quote unquote sizing each other up mentally. Yeah.
And
it's
you're
pretty
an
great.
orphan and all that stuff. Yeah, it's brilliant.
You're an
Yeah.
orphan.
It's brilliant casting, and I really enjoy the dynamic between the two throughout the film. And this is a great meeting.
Can I ask though? Does anybody? I just wondered how people feel about the age difference, because Eva Green is a good 14 years younger than Daniel Craig.
Right.
And so
No,
is the character.
she's over 18.
Yeah, and so
Nice.
is the character as well, by the way, because they show the date of births and they've gone with the date of births of the actors.
Yeah.
So, but I just wondered whether anybody, well, like Reni, do you have any thoughts on this? Because I hear a lot of people say about, oh, you know, he's always with a much younger woman.
Good on him.
Is that an issue or not? I don't think it is, but I just wonder what anyone else thought.
Depending on the amount of age, like for me, I think sometimes, like, so if you're a 30-year-old and you're dating somebody 15 years younger, that's really disgusting.
Yes.
Because they're a
Against the
child.
law.
You know, so it just kind of depends. It kind of
Doesn't
depends
need
on
no
the age.
argument.
But just saying, that's really gross, but and creepy. But you know, it just depends. But you know, as you get further along in the age groups, and yeah, there's maturity, yeah. But I guess I kind of forget that part every time I watch the film.
Yeah.
Because they make her look older. And because of her maturity level and his maturity level, it just feels like they're the same age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
Well, I will say Lisa, who was my ex, she was 10 years younger than me, and we got on like an house on fire. Yeah. So there you go. I don't think.
Why she's your ex? Sorry.
Well, it was a long time ago. Well, nothing lasts forever, does it?
I'll draw the line at over
Well,
80s.
Mhm.
So we're on our way to the hotel.
Scream killer.
My name is James Bond. Your name is Chesty McFloozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Broadchester or
You're going to
something.
have to Miss Broadchester. He goes, you're going to have to trust me on this one.
And I thought that was a brilliant nod to like the ridiculous names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this is an excellent James Bond movie because it is self-referential without being member berries.
Yeah.
It does all the things. Like Daniel Craig is charming in this movie, and that's nearly impossible.
I'm going to be Steve Smith. You're going to be Fanny Akimbo.
Exactly.
So they go into the hotel, and he just goes, name James Bond, doesn't even bother with the alias because he goes, Lashif's going to know anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So who
it
cares?
pisses her
Yeah.
right off, but that's really good.
Yeah, and she goes mental at him,
Hmm.
and then yes, picks up the
Nice.
package.
Sweet.
Picks up the
I
package.
really want that car.
Thank
I'm
you,
not- I'm not a car guy. I'm gonna go pee. You guys go fawn.
I love Bond's cars, man. That's part of what makes Bond Bond.
He gets to smash up the cars we only dream of.
I know, but he gets to smash up cars we can't even afford to drive. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Time profit in the chat. My wife is 12 years older than me. Ooh, lucky boy.
Damn, son.
Damn, son.
Yeah, but what's his name? Roger Moore. He was with really young girls in the films, wasn't he? Especially in View to a Kill.
What about Patrick Stewart? Isn't he going out with a 21-year-old?
What?
Oh,
No.
yeah, and he's like
no.
60-something.
He's married.
Stupid.
He's
like
married.
Yeah, he's
He's
married
married.
to a younger woman, but I don't think she's that young.
No, she's not.
That. I made that part up.
Yeah.
You're so horrible, Brown.
Really? I thought he was in a
You
gay
know me.
relationship with Ian
Bad
McKellen.
Brown.
You know me. Bad Brown. Bad Brown.
Bad Brown.
Oh, do you know Mathis was a great character?
He was. Yeah.
Shame he got mullered.
Such a great character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked Mathis, and I liked that he made a return. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Ultimately, was he
Michael
working
P.
for Spectre
Wilson
then?
appears in this scene as well.
He does, yeah. He gets arrested.
One of his
Yeah.
famous cameos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, was that him?
He's looking really ropey these days. Have you seen him lately,
Well,
Keith?
he is 80 or whatever now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Oh, sorry, I didn't
Oh,
realize.
no
that.
Let's
wonder.
forgive the
Dang.
80-year-old.
Hmm.
Okay, so they're having their meeting, and did they mention the chief of police who can be bought, and he's somewhere in the background there?
That's right, and it's Michael G. Wilson.
Oh, is that him? All right, okay.
Yes, yeah,
My God, Eva
Oh,
Green
wow.
is attractive.
lovely.
Sorry, I can't. What are we talking about?
She looks
Oh,
beautiful
hi.
there. My God,
Just magnificent.
She's also not a bad actress either. She's pretty
She's
good.
an
in this
amazing
film.
actress, of
Yeah.
course. And also, I like the interviews with her because she's also a bit of a weirdo. She's kind of a Helena Bonham Carter personality performer.
Is she from? She's French, isn't she?
I thought
I'm
so?
sure she's French. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But when she wears the
she
dress
is
and
French.
when he wears the tuxedo, they both kind of
There we go.
realize, don't they? Realize how attractive
Tailored.
they are. really.
Tailored.
Tailored. It's
Yeah.
tailored.
I sized you up when I saw you.
Yeah.
When I met you.
Oh,
Thank
I
you,
love
Bridget.
that. That was hilarious.
Again,
And there he is,
the only
the
thing
first
it's
time.
missing. The only thing it's missing is a pocket square.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes,
That's the first time we see him in the tux, isn't it?
We'll pile through these because we're getting up to 3 hours. Can you believe it? Jesus. Okay, so let's go play
Is
some
this
cards.
a
Lashif
No.
goes Mr. Bond.
well, yeah. Now he says, or is it Mister whatever his
Whoever
cover
it is,
was,
yeah.
Benson or whatever? And he goes, I'm not. I'm a bit confused. And he goes,
Yeah.
well, we wouldn't want that, would we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
walks
that's a
away. I
great
love it.
line. That's a good Bond line too. That's great.
And here comes
Jeffrey Wright, Felix
Jeffrey
Leiter.
Wright.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Felix
I love-
Leiter.
I love
Yeah.
his character.
Second best Felix Leiter.
Who's the first?
David Hedison.
Okay, from License to Kill and Live and Let Die.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's
Well-
right.
Yeah, but what about Jack Lord?
Jack Lord is
Oh,
third
yeah.
best.
The first.
That's my top three.
Captain in the chat, hurry up. I want to start my stream. I'm gonna go to bed, mate.
Yeah, so do I.
Damn, Cap.
1:30.
Captain,
Everybody
I'm
watching,
still awake.
Captain will be doing his stream in a moment or two after this. We'll
Well, I
pile
feel bad
through
because he
these.
invited me on his stream a little bit before yours started, but I was finishing up watching James Bond or Casino Royale, and then afterward I had to hop on here, so
Yeah.
I just didn't really have time. And I'm like, oh no, I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't think I didn't want to say hello. I felt really bad.
So they're taking details of where the money's going to be transferred to for the game. Is that
And I
correct?
like
and
this-
then passwords
I
and
like
stuff.
this guy, this banker guy. He
Yeah.
makes Bond
The
chuckle
Swiss
later.
dude.
Yeah,
I like-
he's a good character.
What is it? Haven't you bought any chocolates?
Or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
That would have been
Can't
amazing.
I think that was later on, wasn't it? When he's had his So let's play some cards.
I never understood how this game is played.
Texas Hold'em? Shut up, you have.
No, I haven't. Seriously, I don't know how this
Really?
game is played.
You
Yeah.
don't
I
have
Always-
suck at
Baccarat?
poker.
No, I always see it in movies and stuff, but I've never played at all. It's puzzling. Looks good though on screen with the different colored chips and all
You
that.
will wear this dress, come up to me, kiss me, blah blah blah, and then everybody will be looking at you and taking their mind off the card game. Oh,
Yeah,
that
when it
works-
wound up
works
The
actually
that
actually
being-
is
effect.
your neckline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is,
I like to imagine that the waiter in the background is super hungover.
Yeah.
I feel like James Bond was more distracted than the rest of the players.
He
'cause
was.
kept
Well, there
staring
you
at
go.
him.
great. That was
go.
a great beat. That was such
Yeah.
a good moment. They're like, Mr.
Yeah.
Bond? Mr. Bond? And he's like, oh, sorry,
I was
what?
like, oh yeah, me.
Oh no.
So I think the card game finishes for the first session, and then Lashif goes up to his room, and then the warlords are there, and they're pissed off.
Mm. Are they related to the guy in the beginning?
Yeah, the
Well,
guy
I
is the
know-
guy with the money. Yeah,
But I know this actor,
Yeah, he looks very familiar.
but I don't know from where.
Yeah, it's probably been in a lot of films, that we've seen, but we didn't register him probably.
Yeah, I will say, Captain, post your link for your stream in the chat, mate. I think you can do that.
Not happy. She's not happy. Look at that face. She is not happy. Great eyes, though. Look at those eyes.
Amazing.
That's how she got Dark Shadows. Okay, so there's a white girl.
Yep, and there's a black guy with a
Two
got in
of
his hand.
That
Yeah,
looks like
a white girl that
It's a
ended up
machete.
Is that a sword? Is that a
Banshee, by the
machete?
way.
Oh,
It's a
Keith,
machete.
you spoilt my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
Dang it.
Isn't
This
Keith?
looks unsavory.
Keith, isn't Banshee amazing?
Oh, it's like one of the best shows that's been on
Ever.
Yeah.
Are they from Hot Chocolate, the band Hot Chocolate? These two.
What?
Hot
I
Chocolate, the
believe
band?
in miracles.
Ian, you're such a sexy
Oh
thing,
my
aren't
God.
Way from
You sexy thing.
you? Sexy
Six
thing.
thing you.
And Bond hears the scuffle or the goings on.
Mm.
Yeah, this is very brutal, this bit.
And
Did
then
he
I
hurt
think-
himself? He hurt himself in this scene, didn't he, Keith? Craig, when he was having a fight in the steps?
Really? I don't know.
Probably looked like it.
I mean, he hurt himself on quite a lot of stuff.
Did he?
I think the guy spots the earpiece in Bond
Yeah.
because they're
yeah.
kicking out,
Yeah.
and then bang,
Oh,
And-
yeah, that's
then
true.
all shit goes off.
Well, yeah. And again, I can see
This looks
the
rough.
comparison to the Bourne Identity movies in terms
Yeah.
of this stairwell battle.
Yeah,
And yeah, I get it. But it
Yeah.
is the scene that follows that makes it a James Bond movie. It is
Yeah.
the slow moments that make it. But I really appreciate this interaction.
because
in
she's
terms
never
of-
seen anything like this before.
She hasn't. She is basically a
An
banker.
accountant, yeah.
Yeah.
She's just giving him all that and she hasn't seen anything. God grief. Good grief.
No, she's not seen anything like this violence
She is
before
still
because she's just
wearing the necklace of her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
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 That is a Gordian knot, my friend, and it is
Yeah.
hanging around her neck. The symbolism is amazing. Anyway, meanwhile, back in the shower.
Why didn't Bond let Ugandans just kill him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mission
Making
over.
sense. Yeah.
don't
Because
they want
of-
they want information though, don't they, from him?
Exactly. For the same
Thank you-
reason
thank
that
you,
he got
Scott.
in crap for killing one bomb maker, they don't want the one bomb maker. They want the organization that funds it. And so Lashif is opening up an intelligence network if he plays ball. So get him alive. Meanwhile, Lagavulin is awesome.
Yeah, so Bond is trying to fix himself up in the bathroom, blood everywhere, and then
Crazy bitch in the shower.
Well, didn't somebody tell her that she's not supposed to wear clothes when she's having a shower? It's not
But
good,
they
is it?
originally it was supposed to be filmed with her naked and obviously filmed tastefully for a James Bond film. But
she would have done it as well.
It was but that's the way that it was written, is that they were both to be naked and vulnerable together. And
Eva Green would have done it.
Daniel Craig said it would be more vulnerable for them to just walk in and disregard the water and be romantic together and they both just killed people.
Yeah.
And so it is a very emotional scene, and I give that movie, that scene is credit to
Yeah, it's
this
good, it's
film
good, it's
in
good,
the
yeah.
James Bond pantheon.
Well, she was really traumatized. It was sad. She was like, I have blood on
Yeah.
my hands.
Yeah.
Very good. Very well done.
This is where they're disposing of the warlord's bodies in the back of the car, isn't it?
Hey, Mathis is back.
Yeah. Right. Let's
Hey,
go play
Mathis
some
ends
more
up in his
cards.
trunk.
Mm.
That's in the next one, isn't it?
Look at that guy's
Yeah.
ponytail. Is that a ponytail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
the
it's
The
long,
Japanese
isn't it?
really long ponytail.
Japanese
Wow.
guy, yeah. Right.
Maybe
So-
it's this lady who was in. There was
Possibly.
one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's the same one, isn't it?
Oh my stars! Look at that jade woman in the background. What a great dress, Mathis.
This scene did go on a little bit too long watching it tonight, but at the cinema at the time, it was pretty good.
It's pretty tense.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the title right there.
Oh, hey, roll credits.
That's the
Yeah.
name of the movie.
Exactly.
Because you're a bloody idiot.
So- Yeah, so I think at this point Bond has lost patience, hasn't he? Because he's basically lost all his
he's lost
money.
the game.
Yeah, he's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
He's
out.
out of it.
And then he
And
bumps
then
into
Vesper
Felix
wouldn't
Leiter.
give him.
Felix.
Yeah,
That
the
was
5
amazing.
million. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, screw it. I'm just going to go kill him.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then-
but okay, but
Hold on, brother.
part of this deal is that Bond delivers Lashif alive.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but he
so-
lost everything, so he didn't care anymore. Got nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
So James Bond's mission at this point, if he is entering a partnership with Felix Leiter, is just to, get Lashif alive and deliver him to the CIA.
Yeah, because he's bleeding
Arrest
chips.
him.
Well, that's the part of the deal for the CIA is Leiter's saying he'll front him the cash,
Yeah.
but they have to make the arrest, and Bond's like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
That's,
Fails.
Poisoned drink.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Bad bimbo.
Bad Banshee Bimbo. So he's chugging that or quaffing it. And then it's like,
Quaffing is a nicer word. Yes, quaffing.
like, whoa, what the?
That lemon peel.
yeah, that lemon was off.
It was
So-
a bad lemon.
So he's drinking salty water to vomit.
Yes.
And oh no.
Yes, and now he is in what's that movie?
He's in the doo-doo.
Yes, he's in the doo-doo. Hey, a defibrillator.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of amusing.
Reni, there's a message for you there.
Oh, awesome. We arrived early. Cool.
And just at that moment, we have some knobhead. I think we're getting trolled. There we go. So defib.
I was going to say, whoever has a wrench, ban. But they got him.
Yeah, that was me. So he phones home, literally, and they're trying to find out what's wrong with him, and they're saying, do this, do that, put the defib on. There you go. And the
If Vesper hadn't have turned up, he would have died.
so it's digitalis.
She saves his life.
Puts the thing on. He's gone. The cables come out the pad, and that's it. Do even when she's concerned, she looks stunning. Moving on.
Yeah, check if you like Eva Green, check out Sin City 2.
All right, okay.
That's all I'll say.
Now, what does Bond say?
Are
Just
you all
get some-
right?
Are you all right? So
Yeah.
the guy was technically dead. Are you all right?
Yeah.
It's incredible that he's got a universal antitoxin on him.
Yeah.
I'm
Convenient.
fine with it. It's James Bond. It's fine.
Of course.
I love what he says. What is it? That last round almost killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes back to he cleans up a bit, goes back to the table. They're still playing cards, and that last almost killed
It's
me.
a great line.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
So we're kind of getting to the business end of the cards now.
Is this?
What's
Did I get this wrong? Is this the film with the cast spin? Does the record spin?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Sorry, yeah, I
That's
thought it was
coming.
the other one.
That's-
All right, sorry. Yeah.
Bond's got a straight flush, wins the hand, wins it everything.
But
You can have him. You can have him. So I think this is the scene. Was it Scotty? Were you talking about this? Where they're having dinner.
This is the moment where he is gentleman James Bond.
Yeah.
He is sitting, he is open, he is honest. He trusts Vesper. He has named the drink that he is currently quaffing Vesper. He has made the code to unlock the funds Vesper.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude's in love. And I appreciate it because this is him enjoying good food, enjoying good drink, and enjoying his love. And that is what James Bond, what I believe James Bond wants. And he does it he is a sensualist.
Yeah.
And this is exactly the representation of it. As much as it is Timothy Dalton and Carrie Lowell kissing in a pool at the end of License to Kill.
Lashif's henchmen
Quite.
Yeah.
They always do.
Yeah. And then the Aston Martin.
Like just when James Bond is happy.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys show up and they're like, fuck you, James Bond.
Well, you can't kill people for a living and expect a happy life, can you? Let's face
That's
it.
a fair
you can't
argument,
expect
but I
somebody to
just
come
want
after you,
James
you know
Bond
what
to
I
be
mean?
happy.
And then he sees Vesper in the middle of the road and then swerves and the car goes.
And there's no
Poor
takes.
car.
It's in one take.
Yeah.
One take only.
Goodbye,
This
It was
classic.
Austin.
a world
No
They
takes.
did great in one take.
world record at the time.
Yeah,
And then
it was.
Lashif, they turn up and get Bond out the car because Bond's gone.
And it's that uncomfortable scene coming up next, which
What,
every
balls?
man.
Scratch 'em.
Oh, I find that scene hilarious because he says something like,
You don't have
he's
balls.
and he kept saying,
Balls
"No, I have-
Q
I have an itch. Would you
Bonus
mind?"
007.
7.
And he starts laughing hysterically, and he's like, "I'm just finding it hilarious because you're going to die scratching my balls." That's a great line.
It is good.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
an
is all
amazing
from the book, isn't it? All of
It's-
that. From
There
the
you
book.
go,
It's an amazing torture scene based on the testicular fortitude.
Oh.
It's really funny, right? Because if this was reversed and this was a woman, right,
Now,
then
it'd
they
be-
would
oh.
never have scenes like this. I mean, literally, they're showing, Daniel
Apparently-
Craig, look at his body, girls, look at his body,
I know.
blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Like
And
I
if you
said,
did it reverse,
what-
you wouldn't hear the end of it.
Double
what-
standards.
Have you
Apparently,
ever
if you punch a
seen
girl in
an
the
on-screen
tit, it
tip
hurts.
punch? Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
I have.
You've never seen an on-screen tip punch.
Yes, I have. It was in my movie that I directed. One of the main characters hits a girl in the tit in
Fantastic.
my movie. Yeah,
Breast,
so watch
by
my
the way.
movie. Yeah, breast. Yeah,
Hashtag
basically.
quality.
We're civilized
I
on
don't
this
get
channel.
offended by those terms, so you guys can say whatever you want.
Booby.
Yeah, booby, tit, breasts. It's all the same thing, really.
Humana, humana.
Here you go, Reni.
There we are. Look at him.
Yes.
He's clenching.
Oh.
The definite. Go back one. Go back one. Go back. Look at the. You take good care of your body, Mr. Bond. He does.
really
Like
do.
you really
I
have to
mean-
fucking
Oh,
give
you
him
really
credit.
do.
Daniel Craig got jacked for this movie.
I
It is
did.
good- it
Well, I mean, he was
training.
pretty much in shape for all the Bond movies. I got to give
Yeah.
him that. But this one, yeah, definitely the most effort.
Of course, everyone wants to impress the first time.
It was the first. It was his first, wasn't it? So yeah.
Oh. And
Meanwhile,
then he's
Here's
basically
Mr.
not going.
White.
He's not going to tell the password. He's not going to say the password, and he's kind of resigned to the fact that he knows he's not going to tell him it. And then Mr. White walks in.
yeah, and saves the guy who is eventually going to bang his daughter.
Yeah.
And then boom. And then boom.
Yeah, again, that's
Yeah, because unbeknown, well, is Blofeld behind
Yeah.
all this?
well,
Which we didn't
know- which we didn't know at the time.
Apparently, I guess.
It does turn out that he is. Yeah.
Okay, right.
And
So
in such a haphazard, weird, nothing way.
Mm.
The overarching mystery of the Daniel Craig era of James Bond is so haphazard and kind of boring. It's not
I mean,
even
but that's just your
invigorating.
opinion. Not everybody feels that way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So he
How
wakes
long
up
was
in
he?
a.
How long? Yeah, how long was
It's a
he in?
bit convoluted.
Yeah, this.
when we get to Spectre, it is a bit convoluted.
Yeah.
You know.
Blofeld
Yeah, he's
is
a bit
his
jaded.
brother. You tell me. Right. Okay.
Dr. Evil.
Exactly.
I
So
don't like
was
these
this-
things.
was this,
I've been there,
uh,
by the way. It's lovely. That's in,
Ems, was this
He's
Ems
not charming.
men taking Mathis away?
Yes, and like he tells them to go, pretty much like let him have it.
Mhm. Oh, but then these guys start interacting again, and I fall in love with Daniel Craig and Eva Green, and I'm just like the chemistry. Oh my god, it's
The
on
banker turns up
Fuego.
on Vesper.
Vesper, and she actually
Where's your chocolates?
And to look at that reaction from Eva Green, she is aware that she has betrayed James Bond in that moment, and I appreciate her performance for it.
I'm yours. I'm naked. I've opened up. Blah blah blah.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
new
break
ring.
your
No armor left.
And then,
Let's walk on the beach.
Yeah.
Do we have horses?
No, but we
No-
do have Hunky
no-
Bond.
No space horses.
Yeah.
And then to Venice, which apparently they had special permission to
Venice.
sail the boat.
Green water. Look at that.
Yeah, fun story. My mom and my aunt were doing their trip across Europe during this time, and they were actually in Venice when they were filming the scenes or the Bond scenes there. So they said it was really cool, but there were certain places you couldn't go because they were all roped off.
Venice.
Yes.
That's
Resignation.
really cool. Yeah, I
And
quit.
this guy with the dodgy eye.
He was from Airwolf, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, that's a bit of a deep cut there. But
Daniel Craig. There's him.
Where's the money?
yeah.
Oi, prick.
Where's the money? Oh,
yeah.
you can have it. There's the banker.
Which box shall I
gone.
open, banker?
It's gone. It's being transferred as we speak.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been betrayed.
She was a hoe, faux show.
Go into the building. Boom.
In your face.
Oh,
Oh,
Shoot.
hi. I'm sorry. I trusted you. Now you've met with the enemy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with you.
Yeah. And then World War III kicks off.
Well,
everyone Bond meets
come
always
on.
betrays him.
Blows
But,
the inflatable
right.
bags, doesn't he? So the building
Yeah, there's
starts falling.
There's a really great making of featurette on the Blu-ray that shows how they did all of this, and it is really clever.
Mm. Was that a model tipping
Yeah, well,
towards
you've got a mixture of stuff that was actually shot in Venice, stuff that was on the 007 stage at Pinewood, and stuff that was miniature. Seriously, you watch the film; it's seamless. It's amazing.
That's the money going into the case going into the water. The
Every
building's
time I
sinking.
watch a James Bond movie, I feel like I'm watching James Hammond say, "We spared no expense."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nail gun.
Yeah.
Boom. Have that.
That's not how nail guns work.
Yeah. Then she locks herself in the cage.
Yeah.
Which brings me to an interesting question. Would you prefer to drown or be burned to death?
Neither.
Moving on.
God, that would both suck. That's a
Well, you have
horrible
a
way to go
choice.
away.
You have a choice, one or the
Okay,
other.
Scotty, which would you prefer to stay on the stream or be booted off?
Well, I prefer to be burned to death myself.
Scotty, what the fuck? Like seriously?
I'm just
dude.
saying this lady is
Stream
drowning
killer.
right now, and I think that would be a horrible way to
Probably the water.
I don't want the water. I
Not
would take
to
the. I would take the
film that
fire.
There's another way to die.
Yeah.
There's no
Awful.
time to die.
You know, right. When you watch movies when they're underwater and they're swimming to try and get to the surface, how do they hold their breath that long? Once I watched a
Exactly.
film and I tried to hold my breath as long as the person that was trying to swim, trying to get out. I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
But every
I can do
time I
up to,
watch
like, a
Star Trek
minute, but that's
4, I
it.
try and hold my breath as long as Shatner does. And I
Tom
can't.
Cruise can do 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
also,
he
and
says.
also they,
Well,
Holy shit.
Scientology.
they got a scuba right off the side of the frame there. They got
Yeah.
a regulator that you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah,
James
and
Bond punches
roll.
Eva Green in the face.
Yeah.
I don't know why she just decided to die so easily.
And she is startled.
I don't know why she decided to die full stop.
And she swallowed a fly.
I don't
Perhaps
know
she'll
why.
die. This is just, I hated this ending. I was like,
But I
what?
love the emotion. I love the emotion of Daniel Craig as James Bond to the death of Vesper. I thought it was interesting.
Mr. White is watching.
Quite.
Yeah.
And
guy's gonna
then
bang my
M
daughter.
says she was. It wasn't quite as easy as her selling Bond out. Something to do with a boyfriend was kidnapped or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Well, exactly that, which is what's
So it's
followed up in
blackmailed.
Quantum of
Blackmailed.
Solace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
The guy that gave her the love knot.
Yeah.
But she also said, you have to keep in mind that she also made a deal to save your life as well.
Mhm.
Cam in the chat. This one's for you, Scotty.
Ahoy, Cam. Drowning is less painful. I disagree. Burning is not a good way to go. No, see, the thing is, and this is why I would rather burn to death.
Do we really need to know? We're talking about.
No,
Moving
I
on.
exactly.
Scotty,
I made the
moving
pause
on.
so
Like,
that you guys could
seriously,
move
I
on.
don't want to talk about morbid topics like this. This is just
Go eat a
sad.
bag of dicks.
Well, we just
Yes.
saw a woman drown,
Wesley.
Rennie.
Shut up,
Shut
Wesley.
up.
Okay, so he goes through her possessions and sees Mr.
Sony
White.
Ericsson.
Another Sony Ericsson.
Nice
Yeah.
A white
product
one.
placement.
I think they actually use every single color of that model in this film.
They
Yeah.
do,
Back to the nice location somewhere by a lake. Does look very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I do like this ending, but what I take away from it is the knee pads this guy had before he fell, because you can see it through his trousers.
Oh, yeah. That
Bond,
confused me. And I was like, are those the patches they used to sew into pants? And, but
No, they're knee pads, so when he falls, he doesn't hurt his knees. They're from
Yeah.
the stunt people put it on his knees. You can see it through his trousers because the wind of the high winds, you can
Yeah.
see he's wearing knee pads.
Bond calls Mr. White and he goes, "Who is this?" And then all of a sudden, doof,
Mr. White. We need
Down he goes like a bag of spuds.
yeah. I thought we were going to
what an absolute perfect. This is perfect. The music, the way
Yes.
it comes in, the way he stood there, it's perfect. This is
Yep.
an amazing ending. I had goosebumps when I watched that. Amazing.
Name is Bond. James Bond. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think
The
that's
only
it.
thing that I really dislike about Quantum of Solace is at the
Drowning?
beginning he doesn't wear the same
Same suit.
suit.
I know they changed the costume designer and
No
yeah,
waistcoat,
that-
no nothing. Like
Yeah,
I would have.
no, I agree. I have a problem with that.
And that is a continuity discretion that I will not allow to pass.
Mm-hmm.
451 in the chat, and finally it's over.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dalek.
We accept your apology.
And Wookie Fever 1969 has just
Hey,
turned up.
ahoy,
It's finished.
Wookie!
Yeah.
Yay!
And Reni's popping back on. And
Oh, good.
I think that's it for the graphics. So one
That's it?
sentence
This is the end?
each. Yeah, one sentence each. Don't you dare disappear, Scotty. One sentence
not.
each, and then we will try and disappear at 3:30. So Reni, one sentence. Casino Royale.
Pretty perfect Bond film and good introduction of Daniel Craig's Bond.
Scotty.
Top 5.
Wow. Z.
I've never come out of a Bond film excited about the next Bond film. before they've even released anything about it.
Wow. Keith?
A fantastic reboot that subverted expectations but totally delivered.
I will say, if I may, I thought this was a great Bond film. Just brilliant. I just loved it. Mega Geek?
Entertaining, but the wrong casting.
You're racist.
Racist. Okay, so I will say to everybody
I'm
in
sorry.
the...
That's not even like you shouldn't say things like that. I apologize.
I will
appreciate
say to everybody in the chat, guys, you are wonderful. It's a long one tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. We are, as I always say, we are nothing without the chat. So I appreciate you guys. As always, I will thank the guests. Reni, thank you.
Thank you, as always, Mr. Brown. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Ian, Scotty. Nice to meet you, Keith. And Z3PO, nice to see you again, as always. And thank you to the chat. And to my sweetie for being here. I really appreciate it. That's it.
Scotty, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, panel. I don't want to say the names again because it would be redundant, because Reni just said all of your names. But it was so... No, I want to... I'm not going to click off like I always do.
Your love for Bond has come... Well, it's shone through, so I do thank you.
Have I done a good job is
you
what
have,
I'm
mate.
asking.
You have.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The only criteria for this show tonight, because for me it was a big show, was that you had to be into Bond massively. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan.
Cheers, Scotty. Thank you.
Cheers.
Rob, cheers, mate.
Very welcome. Always a pleasure to be on a stream with you to talk about things that I love, especially like James Bond.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's been part of me since I was a kid, all the way growing up. And
same here.
Everybody's got their own favourite. I don't know. It's like I said from earlier, the parallels with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their favourite generation.
Clara is my favorite companion.
Yeah. Gross.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Keith, thank you, my friend. A genuine joy to have you on tonight. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you very much. It was really great to meet everyone. It's always wonderful to talk Bond. Love it. And thank you for all the kind comments in the chat section. So
as I said,
subscribed.
I will put Keith's channel, the link of his channel in the chat afterwards, so you can check out his Bond stuff and his other
and we should tweet it.
reviews.
We should tweet it.
And last but by no means least, it's Mr. Ian David Diaz. Thank you, my friend.
No worries. Thanks. It's always good being on this stream and talking geeky. So there you go. I'm tired.
I always
sorry.
say it wouldn't be the same without you, mate. So
yeah,
appreciate
you look
that.
great.
Okay. I think that's it, everybody. I know Captain is doing a stream afterwards. So if anybody's up for that, he will be going straight away. I think that is it for us. A long one tonight, boys and girls, but kind of a big special week for James Bond fans. If you've not seen the new one, we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.